Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order at 6:37 p.m. City Council meeting, regular meeting. Roll call, Kaylee?
Councilmember Thompson is absent. Vice Mayor Grimm?
Here.
Councilmember Stafford?
Here.
Councilmember Richardson? Councilmember Darms?
Here.
Councilmember Knight?
Here.
Mayor Marks?
Here. And we have the invocation by Pastor Mark Sears from Volusia County Baptist Church. Please rise, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good to see you all again. It is a privilege to open your meeting in prayer. We teach our church to pray for you all because the Bible tells us to. 1 Timothy chapter 2, I exhort therefore that first of all supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men, for kings, and for all that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the privilege of meeting in this free country. I pray now for wisdom and protection be upon President Trump and Governor DeSantis. I pray, God, that you would give a special wisdom, Lord, to our mayor and every council member tonight. Lord, guide the discussions, give them solutions to problems, and Lord, give them guidance for the future. I pray for all the city staff. Lord, thank you so much for all that they do for Orange City. I thank you, Lord, for our police officers. Keep them safe, God. Lord, they do a very difficult job so that we can live in peace. I pray for every firefighter. Lord, keep them safe as well as they rescue people. And Lord, I thank you so much for Orange City and what it means to all of us. Bless every person who speaks. Guide their speech. May it all be pleasing to you tonight. And we give you the glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, absences, we have none. 2, presentations and proclamations, we have none. Number 3, citizens' comments.
I think we do have.
Oh, wait, let me back up, huh?
Yep, sorry. We do have a presentation. Sorry.
We do?
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Curb appeal. I apologize.
I don't have that on mine. Okay,
They refresh.
let me start over here. I got 2 different agendas here, so I apologize. Okay, before I start, I'm going to do my, I just want to do a quick opening of saying that, once again, to keep decorum, we are going to issue your first warning if anybody calls out or disrupts the meeting so we cannot conduct city business. You will be asked to be removed. And then also, I want to address the fact that we had pulled item 7C tonight from the agenda. After discussion, the items needed more work to make a constructive vote for the council. The item was pulled by staff, and we will bring it back at another meeting. If anybody has any citizen comments today and you would like to speak on it, you still can speak on it. If you don't want to, I'll call your name out and you don't have to, but I will still call you. Okay. So we're going to go on to presentations and proclamations, which is 2A, curb appeal, 4th quarter 2025, word presentation, Joe Ruiz. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, City Council and respected members of the public. Joe Ruiz, Development Services Director. So before you today is our quarter 4 curb appeal for the 2025 year. And so, as always, we're happy to be able to celebrate and honor and acknowledge people who have done the most with their properties to try to keep a higher standard and an aesthetic and an appeal to our city, to keep our city beautiful, right, with an initiative that started back in 2012 and that we continue today. And so, in appreciation today, I know of the residential property owner being present. I believe they're here. I don't know if the commercial is, but we shall see. But in appreciation, we do present a certificate of award, a $50 gift card. We post a sign outside of their property for acknowledgement, and also it's announced on the city website. By the way, if anyone knows of any commercial properties that deemed worthy for curb appeal nomination, please send that to us here at staff, whether it's the council or the residents, as we are falling short of nominees for commercial, but we welcome any nominations. So today, for fourth quarter, for commercial winner, we have Launch Credit Union, located at 2277 Veterans Memorial Parkway. Launch Credit Union was built in 2015 and has seen several aesthetic changes over the years. Today, the gray stone and cream stucco of the building and roof are complemented by distinctive orange trim and accents that match their modern logo and provide a pop of color. Oaks have matured in their landscaping areas and provide shade for the parking lot. Several species of shrubs provide an abundance of texture, while the hardscaping near the entryway includes several water-wise plant species. Thank you, Launch Credit Union, for keeping Orange City beautiful. And if there's a representative of Launch, I'd ask them to come up to the front. Doesn't look like it. We will make their award and gifts to them and drop it off. So for the residential winner is Ada Marie Lewis over at 2853 Stag's Leap Drive. It was helpful for nominations with the holiday contest, the lighting contest, because staff was able to go around and do judging and also see properties that maybe we don't typically see on our daily. And so this modern stucco home was built in 2004. The earth tone brick driveway and sidewalks complement the warm tan exterior and cream stylized emblems and banding around the entryway, windows, and garage. Despite the winter chill, the lawn is thick and well maintained. Several fun blue-green pots provide pops of color, along with drought-tolerant tropical shrubs, a palm, and seasonal flowers within a hardscape area to the right of the entry. So today, we want to say thank you to Ada for keeping Orange City beautiful. It does not look like Ada's here, so. Oh, you're here? Oh, awesome. Come on up, please, Ada.
Can we take a picture? Or? Yeah, let's go. Let's get a picture.
If the council come down and get a picture.
If that's in the way, we can wheel it out of the way. If it's it wheels very easy. Oops, don't.
Oh, sorry. Mark.
That way there's room to move.
Yeah. I didn't name it. But yes.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to citizens' comments. Our first one is Leah Brooks. Please state your name and address for the record.
Certainly. Leah Brooks, 313 West French Ave, Orange City. Good evening, Council, Mayor. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I didn't have much time to prepare because I missed the fact that the council meeting was going to be revamped. I missed it on the agenda. Today I was looking through it, had like a 5-minute break from work, and I was like, oh my gosh, but that made me think, how are people supposed to prepare for agenda items if they're only given 12 hours notice? People have work and they're busy. So that is one concern that I truly have. And also, if we're only given 2 minutes to speak on an agenda item, that's a 33% reduction in speaking time, which is quite a bit. So I just have a couple things to say, because like I said, I didn't have time to prepare. But our citizens have had a strong voice in this community, in this city business for over 140 years. And I don't see any reason to change this now. There are better ways to handle the ongoing conflict that's happening between citizens and the council and our leadership than to stifle the voices of the people. In addition, I already said that part. So I think that you guys really should look at, maybe resolving some of these issues instead of trying to squash the voice of the community. I understand this is tough. You've had a lot of people say things that were very difficult to hear, maybe out of line, but people are rightly concerned, and I think those things need to be addressed. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Mark Dickinson?
Greetings, Council. Mark Dickinson. Address is confidential and exempt. I just wanted to say that it is pretty sad that after whoever was thinking about voting yes to fire the city clerk or voted yes, I don't remember, but basically the person that caused all that got their ass handed to them, and now they want to stifle the citizens. I think every one of you should vote no to make these changes to stop your residents from having a voice, and whatever other types of restrictions that you're going to have are going to be in there should be voted no as well. That's it. Thank you. I'll let the citizens have their time.
Daryl Victor? Please state your name and address for the record. I'll hand it.
Good evening, Daryl Victor, 244 North Levitt Avenue. I will be brief and quick out of respect for the council. I just want to give an update, and unfortunately, because they're having issues with the historic board getting quorum, I have to keep coming in front of the council, but I'll be very quick. It's just an update of my presentation last time. You guys can access the presentation tomorrow of these slides if you wish to, but basically what it comes out to is we have gotten some new information. We have a picture from the 1890s where we can see Levitt Avenue in the background, and we're able to identify some of the structures. We know it's post-freeze based on the trees and the condition of the orange groves at the time. And we also were able to find within the Library Association that we don't have direct access to their files. I'm not sure why we don't have direct access to their files. We have a photocopy of it, of the Abigail Gun House on Levitt Avenue, and we were able to compare it to the Gun Museum, where their pictures say it's her house in Connecticut, but based on the plants, it looks like they have a host of photos of Orange City that are misidentified. And so I'll be very quick as well. There's also a news article that I found from 1895 from Connecticut talking about Orange City, where it clearly says that Wolsey Levitt built his house in 1876 and calls Levitt Avenue, but especially Orange City, the Connecticut colony, and lists specifically all the family members that came down from Connecticut and where they were from in Connecticut that came and founded Orange City. And out of respect for the council and their time, I thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to know if it's possible, we can punt it to the next session, if we could get Levitt Avenue included into the historic district. That way we can protect the elementary school and kind of hug the neighborhood as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. John McHugh?
I think I had on there for the different agenda items.
Okay.
I didn't have anything else to say.
All right, thank you. It was written on the. Michelle Fowler? I better check it again, huh? Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Fowler, 1595 Brown Avenue, Orange City, Florida. I want to come here and give a thank you to the city, particularly the police department, fire department, and Parks and Rec for our Manatee Festival this past weekend. We had a wonderful turnout on Saturday. Sunday was a little slow, but we had a great festival, so thank you very much. I would like for you to reconsider the in-kind donation in your upcoming budget. We bring a lot of people to this city. This past weekend, in the 2 days, we brought almost 3,000 people to this city. Not only do they stay in our hotels, they eat in our restaurants, and they shop in our stores. So please reconsider that. We would greatly appreciate it. Also, you guys are elected officials. You are a voice for the citizens of this city. Please don't silence them. Yes, we are angry. Yes, we have outbursts, but we need you to stick up for us. And by silencing the citizens of this city, that is not going to happen. The more you try to shut us up, the more we're going to speak out. Thank you.
Sharon Stafford. Can I ask what subject this is about? Because you have 4 filled out.
All of them, citizen concern.
Are they 4 different concerns?
Yes, they are.
Okay, thank you.
Sharon Stafford, Orange City. Good evening, all council members. I would like to speak on a statement that was made by Mayor Marks during the closing remarks on January 13th meeting. The statement regarding former city manager Dale Arrington being uncomfortable when approaching me at the 4th of July activities. Afraid of pulling the black or race card? This appears to be very unfair and disturbing statement. In fact, I was in shock. I'm still shocked about this statement. In fact, I had to Google, you know I'm old, I had to Google this to better understanding, pulling the race card, which states, someone brings up race in a discussion often to gain advantage, sympathy, or deflect criticism by suggesting racism is a reason for a situation, even if it's not relevant or true. To clear a few things, Dale Van Tudor, at that time, now Dale Arrington, and myself, we attended Daytona Community College back in 1975, 1976. We both rode together to our employer, ate together, during lunch breaks, studied together. I would like to request the documents reflect the real truth. Dale and myself were not afraid of each other in 1975 and 1976, so therefore it's unclear why 60+ years later Dale would be afraid to approach me after many years of us riding together, studying together, eating together, working together. We were then, as well as now, about justice, equality, and fairness for all, not pulling the race card, as Mayor Marks states. I would like to encourage council members to please refrain from this type of statement during their closing comments regarding anyone, without giving that person a chance to defend themselves. Due process is essential. This type of statement could result in legal action. EIS was just asking for equality and fairness that was given to Kelly Marks nonprofit organization previously, not the fact of pulling the race card,
Time.
as Kelly decided.
Okay, time.
Okay.
I'll call you back up for the other ones.
Okay.
Thanks. Christy Gonzalez?
Good evening. Christy Gonzalez, 470 Redwood Avenue, Orange City. I wanted to touch on agenda items that have since been removed last minute regarding the limited to 2 minutes to speak instead of 3. I feel like that is highly unfair to the citizens who live here. 3 minutes is barely enough time for most topics for everybody to get what out that they need to. So by reducing it to 2 minutes, that doesn't give us adequate enough time to speak. Also, regarding no citizen comments allowed during special meetings except for agenda items, written comments no longer being read at council meetings, and the mayor may ban residents from speaking at council meetings for any reason. This kind of combines going against our First Amendment rights, Florida state laws, and the Sunshine Law. So we need to look at what all that entails and how this will greatly affect our rights as citizens who live here, and whether this could be seen as being bullied by one or more individuals on the council. I know this doesn't apply to everybody, but I do know that enough has come through that there's a lot of unrest in the city, and it's not right to go against the law, go against our rights, just because you don't like what is being said. And I also want to point out, going back when you were running, Mayor Marks, you said your slogan was, "It's not about me, it's about you, Orange City." A lot of your actions
You have to
since
address
then,
the whole council.
our mayor, her slogan, her actions, her words go directly against that. It's not about us anymore. She's turning it into about herself. And now to see these agenda items pop up, that only more solidifies that she's only trying to look out for herself and not for the people who are here and deserve to have the right to speak and to be heard. All of you on the council, you are to represent us. I pray that you start to listen to us, start making actions to correct a lot of the unrest and, you know, truly do what's right for us and following the law. Thank you.
Concerned citizen.
I'd like to retain my Fourth Amendment rights if our dear leader would permit it. I think that we're all kind of missing the point here. I think that we should have left the agenda as it was. I think we're celebrating 250 years of our Bill of Rights, of our First Amendment. Don't you guys think that 250 years is enough? I think that if the mayor or anybody wants to stifle the citizens' voices, that it should be permitted. They know better. These are our betters. These people on the dais up here are our betters. We are the lowly serfs. We are the lonely serfs, and we should know our place. We should know our place. If somebody makes some potentially racist comments and it's brought up by a citizen, we don't want that to come to light. I mean, some things we should just keep in the dark, you know? If we have racism on the dais, I realize there's a conflict here because I see some color on the dais. But in private or even in public, as long as it's not brought up here, if people want to be racist, you know, that's okay, right? We elected them. They are our betters. Going to the idea of limiting the public comment from 2 minutes or from 3 minutes to 2 minutes, realistically, why do we even get that long? I mean, isn't 30 seconds enough to let you guys know how good you're doing and how much we love you? We sure do. You guys are doing so great. Now, I'm wondering, I'm running out of time here. I have so much praise to give. Mayor Darms, can I give you, or Mayor Marks, can I please give you some praise? I think that as far as mayors go, racism aside, that she is potentially the best mayor to ever have been a mayor anywhere ever, not just here, anywhere in America. You don't worry if there's some, you know, potential racism. That's it. That's all I got.
Thank you.
I'll be back.
Sharon Stafford.
Good evening again, all council members. Public concern. The public information request, which is a formal process to access documents either by the email, in person, phone, or etc. When asked by a council member why Mayor Marks was taking pictures of a public request form, her response was, "It's public information." Yes, it may be public information. However, the process to obtain these documents should be followed by everyone. Rules for thee and not me. That request to speak has since been placed on a social media platform. The request showed the speaker's private and personal information. Again, rules for thee and not me. This could place that person in very dangerous situation. In doing research, I was unable to locate documents to verify the statement that was made by Mayor Marks, whether it was true or not. Please understand, that's a process for information under the public rights request. Therefore, it appears that Mayor Marks may have violated the process at the January 13th council meeting, as well as placed that individual in danger. When acting as a mayor, she took photos of the request from speaker's form. That action requires a public information request, not a photo because Mayor Marks wants to. Again, it appears the rules for thee and not for me. Is this justice and equality for all? Remember your platform, Mayor Marks, when you were running for mayor? Justice and equality for everyone.
That's weird that she made him not address you when he was complimenting you. But you made her.
Carrie Donaway. Thank you.
Hello, Council. Carrie Donaway, 347 West University,
Orange City, Florida. I was prepared for the resolution that we're all speaking towards today, so I'm going to read as quickly as I can to stay within the current 3 minutes that I have, and hopefully express to this council the seriousness of what this proposal pertained and the reaction you will continue to get. Okay. First, the proposal rules reclassify one of the city's required monthly meetings as a special meeting. While the city's workload remains unchanged, special meetings traditionally carry narrower opportunities for public comment. Reclassifying meetings necessary to conduct regular city business effectively reduces meaningful public participation. Second, the rules reduced citizens' comment time from 3 minutes to 2 minutes, which represents 33. Add on 2 of the meetings per month that we have being totally taken away, you're at over 50% of reducing citizens interacting with this council. That's not going to fly. I'm going to skip through some of this because I'm putting this in for public record, and skip to let's see. Clarification and reconsideration of these provisions is respectfully requested, and request that this total agenda change just be dropped completely. It leaves us open to suit. It leaves council members that vote for it, should it pass, open to sunshine laws, and we're not going to stop. I was really worried till I came here and heard my fellow citizens tonight. I feel really good. Thank you.
Thomas Hewitt.
Which one you got me down for?
Sunshine Law.
Sunshine Law. My name is Tom Hewitt, and 1060 Tappan Circle. I know there's been a lot of talk and a lot of, over the past month or so, complaints and whatnot, and I'm not big on politics. I am not. But this week I went out and I called up to the Attorney General's office in Tallahassee, and they told me that if anybody has anything that says that you feel there is corruption going on in this city via the council or whoever, they need to get in touch with the Attorney General. They can voice their opinion here, but it should not ever be personal. You're talking about somebody's job. You're talking about what they're doing. And as far as the code of ethics, as far as anybody saying that the Sunshine Law has been broken, like I said, I have nothing against anybody. You need to get in contact with the Office of the Commission of Ethics. If you feel there's been an ethic violation, they're the ones to report it to, not bring it up here and do personal attacks. And I understand that y'all need to voice your opinions, but please, I'm asking everybody to voice their opinions on the job. Okay, if you feel there's somebody's been slighted personally or whatnot, please. These guys, and I understand you guys got a lot to do, all right? But the Office Commission, I'm going to give you guys their number is 850-488-7864. Now, in order to file for an ethics violation, you have to have proof. You have to have knowledge, personal knowledge of the ethics violation, be it in an email, be it in a pictures, be it in a recording, whatever. But that needs to be done, because you have to sign up saying, I hereby certify that this has happened. And you have when you get it sent in, and it's against the law. If you file it and nothing's going on and it's a false report, you could be under penalty of law. So I understand people are frustrated and stuff, and I'm tired of hearing it too. I really am. I'm tired of hearing the bickering and stuff, but that's the legal way to do it. Thank you.
Sharon Stafford.
Again, good afternoon, all council members. I'm going to speak on the Robert Rules of Order, which is a standard guide for conducting orderly meetings focusing on fairness, efficiency, and majority rule while protecting the minority rights. It utilizes structural motions, debates, and voting procedures, such as requiring a second motion and allowing one speaker at a time to manage organizational business. Under the Robert Rules of Order, what I researched, the chair, presiding officer, must remain impartial, facilitating business by focusing rules, not by engaging in a debate. The key points: follow the agenda, maintain order, ensure fairness, effectiveness, procedures are in place. The chair should not micromanage or override the assembly will. The chair should not rush through proceedings to prevent motions or debate. The chair should not interrupt a speaker except to enforce a point of order or handle an emergency. Thank you.
Concerned citizen? This is a different subject, right? It has to be a different subject.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
I'd still like to retain those Fourth Amendment rights.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Oh, imagine that. You know, listening to all the complaining, it got me thinking. How am I up here speaking again? It doesn't even make sense. I mean, I think I need to revise. Can I just touch on one thing just real quickly? If we could just revise the 30 seconds down to 10 or 15 seconds, I think that we could get through the meeting a little faster and we wouldn't have to worry about, you know, any potential,
Sir,
you know.
Sir, I have to interrupt you for a second because you already spoke about that.
Oh.
So it has to be a different
Well, I
subject.
didn't talk about the 15 seconds, but
Okay.
I apologize, dear leader. I will not let it happen again.
It's okay.
One of the speakers brought up the public records, and do you guys see the problem with releasing the public records? If you guys release the public records that show that there might be corruption, then there could be some accountability, and we can't have that. Listen, the lowly serfs need to know their place. And our place isn't really even to stand here and speak. It's to just give you our tax dollars and shut the fuck up. That's what we should do. We should just give you our money and tell you that we love you and that you do a good job. You know, because public records, you know, they can be a bitch. Like the police department, for example. They just released some public records that were exempt from disclosure. So one way that we can stop disclosing records to the public that aren't supposed to be disclosed to the public is not disclose any records to the public. If we disclose no records to the public, then don't you guys think your job would be easier if you didn't have to disclose what you guys were doing? I'll take your silence as yes. So, you know, I don't want to, maybe I'll have to fill out another card so I can get back up here and give you guys some more praise. This is my first time to an Orange City meeting, and let me tell you, I like what you guys are doing. I do. The serfs back here, if it's possible that we could just quiet them down, it would be so much better for you guys. We need to make your jobs easier, and that's really it. You know, we love you. You guys are the best. Don't ever stop doing what you're doing.
Carrie Donaway.
I want to address the warning system that has just changed. It's not illegal, but it's not either, it's not accepted generally and widely within the state of Florida. I know some of you are not from Florida. Maybe you should go back to where you're from. But here in Florida, the acceptance procedure for warning public comments or disorderly meetings is not done as generalized as you do in the opening. That will be discussed when it comes up on your next agenda and will come under the purview of review from the AG. So what the procedure should be and what the procedure commonly is in our state of Florida is an individual, not a group, is warned once. They're warned, given a chance, and told, or directed once, then warned, then removed, so that they can correct their behavior. This is the accepted, even under Robert's rules. So, once again, we have the mayor that is trying to silence Orange City, Florida residents. Thank you.
Sharon Stafford.
Again, Sharon Stafford. I'm going to be speaking on the First Amendment. We are in our 250th year of our great country. The First Amendment of the United States Constitution is a part of that. It protects citizens for government consistence of interference, governing the right to practice religious, express your opinion, publish information, etc. I would like to suggest that all council members to please remember and understand the First Amendment Act, which was established by our great country 250 years ago. And remember, rules for thee and not for me, is that justice?
Thomas Hewitt.
Once again, Tom Hewitt, 1060 Tappan Circle. I was going to speak on, and I still am going to speak on the meeting changes, but I need to get something. According to the charter, Orange City's charter, and I'm looking at the charter right now, it says, section 2.06, meetings. The council shall meet at such times as may be prescribed by ordinance or resolution, except that it shall meet regularly at least once each month. And then down towards the bottom of it, it says the mayor or two members of the council may call special meetings of the council upon at least 12 hours written notice to each member and other notification as approved by council. And the public meetings shall be, and the public shall be informed by posting the notice in City Hall and Orange City Post Office. Action taken at this meeting shall be limited to the purpose for which the meeting was called. So if y'all could call a meeting, a special meeting at any time. Okay? Now in section 2.07, because there is an ordinance attached to section 206. And section 207 says, the council shall determine its own rules and procedures. It shall require a journal or minutes of its proceedings to keep recorded, transcribed, and retained by the city clerk. The journal or minutes shall be open to public inspection. Now, what y'all decide on doing is up to you guys. There's not a lot the city can do other than voice their opinion. But one thing I need you guys to think is that if you guys don't feel like you have enough time to do the job that you're supposed to do in these meetings, turn it down to one meeting a month where you have public comment. It's going to make it even longer. Number two, and if you feel like you shouldn't be up here, the meetings are too long because, hey, y'all finally got a public that's here, that's participating, that's listening now. If y'all don't feel like you're up to it, leave. Quit your job. Give it to somebody else that might be willing to sit up here and listen, even if it's the most mundane thing in the world. The public has a right to speak. The public has a right to redress their grievances against the government. Time. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, that concludes public comment, except for the ones that are on the agenda items. Moving on to 4, consent agenda. We just would need a motion for that.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
A second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Kaylee?
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson? Councilmember Darms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Mayor Marks?
Yes, and the consent agenda passes. Moving on to 5, ordinances, first reading. 5A, ordinance number 697. Will you read that into the record, Mr. Waters?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is item number 5A, ordinance number 697, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orange City, Florida, amending Chapter 10.5, Parks and Recreation, Article 2, Use Regulations, Sections 10.5-19, Rules and Regulations of the City of Orange City Code of Ordinances, providing for repeal of prior inconsistent ordinances and resolutions, incorporation into the code, severability, and an effective date. And Madam Mayor, that was the first reading of the ordinance.
Thank you. Ashley Gay?
Good evening, Council. Mayor Ashley Gay, Parks and Recreation Manager. Thank you for your time this evening. I'm very excited to be able to bring this back to you. You asked me to bring this ordinance back last time in regards to some changes you wanted to see at Mill Lake before you could move on a couple of them. So reading through the ordinance again, for the first one, we used to have a fireplace at Valentine. We no longer, so just trying to, as you start to read back through the rules, you're like, why didn't we remove that? So that was just a minor change. So this year, Mill Lake received cameras, and we've always had lighting around the lake, but the last time I brought this agenda was in regards to the safety concerns by not having the cameras operational before council made a decision. So currently our parks are open 30 minutes prior to sunrise and 30 minutes after sundown each day. So we have many groups that utilize Mill Lake Park specifically outside of those hours, those time constraints. And 2 of the groups are Volusia Runners, and they start, they're 2 days a week out there, Tuesdays and Fridays from 5 to 7. And then on Tuesdays, we have another group that comes in at 7. And then there's also a group that comes in the evening time. It's about 6:45. So that's the Volusia Runners. And then I don't know if you are familiar, we have a new group that's out there that's called the F3. That's actually part of our Mayor's Fitness Challenge. That stands for the Fitness, Fellowship, and Faith. And they also, it's a men's group, and they're also meeting at Mill Lake at 5 a.m. So, again, we're asking council to go ahead and approve our request to open the park at 5 a.m. With the closing at 9 p.m. I will tell you, with looking at the data since November of the park usage, between that hour of between 7 and 8, there is under 100 people that utilize it, and then it drops down between that 8 and 9 to less than 50 people. within, this is looking at just the last 3 months of data. So we do see that those people that are getting off at work, feeding their family, coming back out after dinner, we just feel like allowing them to use the park later than normal. And then this is the park selected, since it does, again, has cameras and is well lit. So the last one is we're seeing a lot of those gender reveal parties. And so just need to put language in there, because we already know that we don't want people to release lanterns, releasing balloons, use of glitter, use of the confetti cannons, aerosol string, or the release of any other substance that causes pollution, litter, nuisance, or poses a danger or burden to the environment and wildlife, or the aesthetics and cleanness of the park. It takes us about an hour to clean up those confetti cannons, so really trying to get the word out. Please don't use them. We don't mind the ones that you release that are just, aerosol. No, they can't use aerosol now, but I'm just saying it's really been increasing a problem. So that's why we're asking council to allow us to make those changes. So what are your thoughts, council? And is there any questions that you have for me?
Any questions, council? Councilwoman Stafford?
Yes, thank you. I was wondering, you're saying, is that just for Mills Lake? That's not for veterans and all the rest, the confettis and all this other stuff? Is this only for Mills Lake, this particular ordinance?
This is the park ordinance. This would apply to all the parks.
Okay.
And the only specified is
Mills
just the times for Mill Lake.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the council? Okay.
Looking for a motion from the council to approve this ordinance on first reading.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 413-25.
It's ordinance
Ordinance 277-355?
No.
Ordinance number 697.
697.
Here we go. Right there.
Oh, thank you. Okay, to adopt ordinance number 697 on the first reading.
A second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Kaylee?
Thank you.
Oh, is there any public comment on this? Come on up.
Listen, I'd still like to retain those rights if possible, dear leader. Balloons and glitter in the parks? Listen, if we want to bring our families to the park and have a birthday party with some balloons and some glitter, I don't even think that we should be allowed in the parks for more than 15 minutes a day. In fact, if it's possible, could I bring a resolution to the board where we require the residents to stay in their house for all but 30 minutes a day? I think that if we want to really exercise our control over the community, we need to get much more aggressive than lanterns, balloons, and glitter. We need to really keep them in their houses. The parks are not for the people, they're for our dear leaders. So if our dear leader wants the park open a little earlier for her run club, I don't even think she should have to ask. I don't think the public should be allowed in the parks. I think it should be reserved for the dear leader and her friends. And if they want to keep us from bringing our balloons and our glitter because they pose a danger to the environment and wildlife, glitter and balloons. I wonder if this is evidence-based or if we're just speaking words. That's the problem with speaking words, is words mean things and we shouldn't be allowed to speak them. We should know our place, and our place is really not even to be here. I heard about public participation increasing at these meetings. That isn't what you guys want. We elected you to make decisions for us without our consent and without our well wishes, and it's deeply troubling to me that we're allowing people into the parks. Can we put a rider on this ordinance that limits the serfs, the normies, from entering the park? Because I can see how it can get out of control fast, public property and access to public property, especially if people bring balloons and glitter. Thank you.
Is there any other public comment on this agenda item? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the council for action. I just want to make it clear that that statement up there, Ashley, is only releasing of balloons, right? They're allowed to bring balloons. They're just not allowed to release them because it affects the environment. Is that correct? Okay, I just want to make sure, because there is a lot of birthday parties in the park. Okay, so we'll bring it back to council for action. We would need a motion.
We have a motion.
We have a motion,
Just
sorry.
gotta do it.
Okay, we need to vote. Call the question, please.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson?
Yes.
Councilmember Darms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Mayor Marks?
Yes, and ordinance number 697 at first reading has been adopted. Okay, moving on to 6, public hearings and ordinances, second and final reading, we have none. 7, resolution, 7A, resolution number 413-25. Mr. Waters, could you read that into the record?
Madam Mayor, this is item number 7A, resolution number 413-25, resolution of the City Council of the City of Orange City granting a conditional use to allow for outdoor storage and display area as an accessory use at 1470 North Volusia Avenue. The property is plus or minus 6.4 acres and zone general commercial restricted, repealing all resolutions or parts of resolutions in conflict herewith, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. Madam Mayor.
Joe Ruiz?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, City Council, respected members of the public. Joe Ruiz, Development Services Director. I am moving the lectern just so I can face the screen here, not to
Go, Joe.
not to turn my face to you all. So before you all, as it was read into the record by our city attorney, is a conditional use resolution for Tractor Supply outdoor storage and display area. With this resolution, just to be clear, the use of selling retail sales and service of garden supplies or just general retail sales and service within the CG1 restricted zoning district is a permitted use. However, for the outdoor storage and display area, there are requirements in our code specifically to that use. As an accessory to a principal use, that does require a conditional use application to come through before the Planning Commission at minimum, and then depending on the size of the property, before the City Council. And so the conditional use involves, it's for a subject property of 1470 North Volusia, which on the map here you're going to see as property 2. However, it does involve property 1, which is 1510 South Volusia Avenue. As a total, the acreage of these properties is 6.48 acres. The reason why we didn't just split it up and did 1470 separately is because on the conceptual plan for the conditional use, you all see that this site needs, property 2 needs property 1 for development purposes. So it is part of a phased development that the applicant is proposing. And so staff just didn't feel right that if they came in for a conditional use that involved multiple properties and acreage above 5 acres, to not bring it before you all in this fashion. Because one of the planning commissioners did ask the question, well, it doesn't meet the threshold. However, the area affected does, right? So as a total, property 1 is mentioned is 2.62 acres. And property 2, which is the conditional use property, is 1470 North Volusia Avenue, which is 3.86 acres. Total affected area, as mentioned, and as was on the resolution header, general commercial restricted, and the future land use of commercial general. So just to kind of give you an overview of what the conditional use site plan provides, as far as staff has seen and everything that we've gone through with hurricanes and bad development in many places, right? Long are the days, gone are the days where we just do bubble plans and things like that. So what staff usually looks at and encourages developers to do is to provide somewhat of a detailed conceptual plan, right? It doesn't have to be fully designed yet because it is only a conditional use, and so it is at a conceptual stage. And then understanding that site plan will come after. However, we like to understand the details because if we're going to consider a use, there's details that we've got to look into and have the facts and the information ahead of time to be able to make a recommendation and also for you all to make a reasonable and understood decision. So as you can see on this conceptual site plan, they are proposing access via North Volusia Avenue and New York Avenue. So here's 1792 North Volusia Avenue. Up here is the medical office. To the north is the racetrack. And then they are proposing an additional secondary access, which is required by code along New York Avenue. The shared cross access that you see, so as mentioned, property 1 and 2, there are going to be common infrastructure and common access and stormwater shared areas. And so they kind of are, they're codependent. They need each other to exist in the sense of how the developer is proposing the plan. And so here you've got the Tractor Supply proposed building. And here would be their gated or their fenced outdoor storage area. And then to the north is a stormwater pond, which again is conceptual, which final details will come through time of site plan. However, they're kind of designating that area based on preliminary design that they have done. So with the use, the Tractor Supply itself is approximately 21,000 square feet, which is their prototypical site for the building size. And with the conditional use, they're proposing 26,700 square feet of outdoor storage area. So as mentioned, we've kind of color-coded the square footages for the areas that they're providing. The turquoise that you see there is the 20,000 square foot fenced area. If you are familiar with Tractor Supply, you know they have that area in there where they have supplies, propane, different things and services that they provide. Also along the front of the building, they're proposing 3,700 square foot of permanent sidewalk display area. As currently our code is written, there's temporary display provisions under overhangs and things like that. If they want outdoor display and storage, then they have to come through for this conditional use. And then also along 1792, the applicant is proposing 3,000 square feet of permanent trailer and equipment display area. So it'll kind of be the low-lying trailers that you all, if you visited their sites, they have along in the parking lot for sale. And staff has worked with them to make sure that the future plans and the future design will have proper screening and adequate screening with shrubbery, with landscaping, to ensure that we keep the corridor of the CRA, we keep it upkept, especially with new development, and we just maintain the aesthetic of our city. So as with the outdoor storage and display areas, our code does have specific requirements for that, right? Some conditional uses don't have specific requirements. This outdoor storage does, right? So there's a 4-point criteria, and this is not limited to, right, these criteria, but obviously public hearings and input from Planning Commission and also ultimate decision of City Council influences how they screen and how they accommodate the outdoor storage. So when we look at our code in table 8.6.1, it states it's got to be located at least 10 feet from the front property line. So the front buffer here is a minimum of 20 foot required, so it meets that 10 foot. B is located at least 5 feet from the side and rear lot lines. There are building setbacks that are greater than that, and everything is on the side here and on the front along the building, and also outside of the setback here on the south. Street frontage landscaping, including type, amount, and location of plant material, shall be approved by the Planning Commission and City Council. The Planning Commission did make a recommendation of approval for this project with a condition to be added to the resolution. And essentially the landscape plan that they provided, that was provided to you on the packet, They found it suffice. They are proposing understory trees along 1792. That is not uncommon due to the overhead lines. A lot of the projects that we've done along 1792, we've accommodated that for right place, right tree purposes to make sure that oak trees and things like that are not conflicting with the power lines. And then also on the side and rear yards that abut residential. So to the east here, there is a residential parcel. And also to the southeast, there's a residential parcel here. This one is, I believe, R4 County. And we have been talking with the resident. The resident did come to the Planning Commission meeting. I have not seen her in the audience, but we did encourage her to show up today and express her thoughts and concerns to the City Council. But it says side and rear yards that abut residential shall be buffered with plant material and/or solid barriers approved by the Planning Commission. So a few years ago, 2023, the City Council did approve an ordinance that any commercial adjacent to single family required a minimum 35-foot landscape buffer. So what the applicant is proposing on the Tractor Supply parcel is an existing vegetative buffer. So essentially, they're not looking to interrupt anything that currently occurs in here. On the west side of it, behind the building, they're looking to supplement with trees back there. And then one of the conversation pieces that came up at the Planning Commission was the Planning Commission requested that a physical 8-foot tall barrier be put between the property line or between the residential property and Tractor Supply. The location was not necessarily precise. However, staff and the applicant do anticipate working with the resident to ensure where that goes and to make sure that they are comfortable with where that's at. The applicant and developer have an idea of where they plan on that, but those details will be ironed out and worked out. And so it was a physical barrier, so it can be a fence or a wall, depending on the input and depending on working with the property owner to the east. So here's just a blow up of the proposed development or the proposed conditional use. So a lot of the northern area is going to be screened really until this area is developed. They're going to be preserving the trees in this area up here and along the eastern buffer. Anywhere that doesn't need necessary infrastructure, they're going to be leaving alone until a further phase. Also, just to note, I'm going to show you some elevations in a little bit, but that northern part there is going to be buffered by either a future building, and also it's going to be slightly visible from North Volusia, but with their outdoor screening and also the plantings that they're providing, it'll have a nice aesthetic on the north side there. As far as parking, they have requested a parking reduction to the TRC per Chapter 8. They can do that with a parking study. They did provide a study. Our consultant did review it, and our consultant found that based on the use, that we can recommend safely a reduction in parking. In planning, at least our office, we are always proponents of less parking, right? Less impervious, and keeping more natural areas. So just looking at this landscape, as mentioned, along the east side, they're proposing that 35-foot buffer with the Planning Commission recommendation, 8-foot tall barrier within this 35 feet, preservation of existing vegetation, decorative planters and to screen display areas, and permanent trailer and equipment display areas as well. So kind of just to give you an overview of the conceptual and the preliminary elevations. Staff has been working with the applicant. Again, as stated, it is on our CRA. It is an area that we want to preserve and keep the look and the upkeep. And Orange City does value itself, right? And we have standards. Chapter 10 is a great chapter for architectural standards. And I'm a big fan of it for the fact that we get good buildings with developments that come in here. Nice looking buildings. And so we've been working with the applicant to provide pitch roof forms. Being it's a box building, usually that's hard to do, but the applicant has proposed certain pitches along the front facade. They've proposed outdoor canopy with treated columns that support the Tractor Supply canopy that they have out there. And then one of the things that we talked about them with the roof is how can we find a way to kind of create some type of pitched effect on the roof, right? We understand modern architecture wants that flat roof look. And so what the applicant has proposed is a staggered roof element from the front of the building all the way to the back. right? So it's not a pitched roof per se, but it does meet the intent of our land development code and what we're trying to accomplish with that flat roof look. So this is the front elevation, and this would be the elevation on the right side of the building, which is along the south side, visible, right, or abutting DeLand Motorsports. On the left side of the building, as mentioned, is that outdoor storage on the northern portion. So what the applicant has proposed is a wrought iron fence, and then also planters, right, decorative planters to kind of screen that and break up the outdoor storage look. Within the architectural elevations, typically windows are required. Staff has been working with the applicant that as they treat this, really the windows along the north side would not be appreciated because of the displays that they're going to have and things like that and the screening. So they are proposing screening along that northern side with the planters along there. And so here's just a rear view where they got the loading area and then also the storage area on the northern side. So when we look at these uses and conditional uses, it's not quite a rezone, but it does affect the current zoning and the current land use of the property. We do a land use compatibility chart, which you all are familiar with. And so when we look to the north, we have the office, we have the racetrack. To the south, we have DeLand Motorsports. To the west, we've got more commercial. And then really the only residential is along the east. And it is along our main historic commercial corridor. And so it is a fitting use staff has found for this site. When we look at conditional use criteria, there are different criteria that A through I that have to meet the land development code, whether it is with what they're proposing or with certain conditions to be applied. And so when staff went through the evaluation, with the criterions, they meet the criterion straight on, or there's certain conditions that we've applied and certain waivers to be able to have them meet the criteria. So today, staff recommends that the City Council approve resolution number 413-25, proposing outdoor storage and display areas as an accessory use to the Tractor Supply conditional use application at 1470 North Volusia Avenue with conditions and 3 waivers, including the Planning Commission's recommendation on January 7th of an 8-foot tall physical barrier within the eastern buffer. Staff has provided the conditions in the PowerPoint should there be any questions. There is an updated resolution that was provided to you all, and really the only thing that was updated on there was number 7, which essentially establishes that the conditional use is only for the 1470 property. Should any expansion occur or there be an additional conditional use, it'll have to come back before you all. Any questions?
Go ahead.
The resident that lives to the east of the property, has their concern regarding the stormwater design been addressed?
I don't know that it's been addressed per se. We've explained to the applicant that stormwater design has not occurred yet because of the site plan application. Really, in the site plan application is when the technical details come into review. The way, and just to put it in simple terms, Tractor Supply, for example, their use relies heavily on outdoor storage, right? So one of the things they want to look at, and kudos to them because developers are usually eager. They haven't submitted their site plan yet because they're waiting on this. Because if the conditional use is not approved, they're likely not going to do their Tractor Supply because that's part of their business. So what we've explained to Mrs. Likes, and she's been very pleasant to work with, is that when the site plan comes in, there will be stormwater calculations and stormwater design that gets reviewed by both our city engineer and also our consulting engineer. And so kind of one of the things I told her was before you kind of go, too far along on paying for things and, for geotech or an engineer services, let staff get the data, review it, and then we will involve you in the process to make sure that all your concerns are addressed and that, truthfully, I told her one of our roles is to make sure that nothing is negatively impacting neighboring properties, right? Things may slip and things like that because we're not perfect. However, she has been very diligent and staff is working diligently with her to make sure that as this develops, she will be safeguarded.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the council? No. I just wanted to make a comment. Thank you for all the hard work and thank you to the Planning Commission because going through all this was a lot.
Yeah.
And And I'm super excited about getting something like that in Orange City, but especially on that side of town, because I feel like everything's over on Saxon and around that area. So I'm super excited to see some more development on that side of town. So I want to say thank you.
Why are we developing more? We're already overdeveloped.
That's enough.
And Mayor, the applicant is here to present or speak should they be asked
Does
questions.
anybody have any questions for the applicant?
No, I just have a comment. I've looked through all of the diagrams of what it's proposedly going to look like, and I'm feeling confident because I've been to the one in Sanford, and they did a nice job there, so I know it's going to push over to here, and that is a really good location. So they should do very well, as we should as a town, because we want to have prosperous businesses, because it keeps us going.
Right. And I will say, we had several meetings on the architecture. The architectural elevations have come a long way, which is why you see the brick, which is why you see the elements. Originally, there was a lot of CMU block, and that has gone away, and really you only see that kind of in those painted planter areas. So we've been working with them. We let them know what our code states and staff stance, and so we've got in my opinion, a pretty good looking.
So is this the best looking Tractor Supply out of all of them?
Yeah.
I'm hoping to say that.
Like it.
It's really something else.
Thank you for all your hard work. Okay, we just need a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 413-25, proposing outdoor storage and display area as an accessory use to the Tractor Supply conditional use application at 1470 North Volusia Avenue with waivers and conditions.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any public comment on this? We have one? Come on up. Just come up to the podium, please.
My name is Anade, and I'm the resident to the east of this project. And I just want to say that I've been working with Mr. Ruiz and also the applicants, and they've been all really great.
Good.
Considering my concerns. One of them continues to be mostly the overflow of storm water into my property, because I had last year with Milton a lot of water coming into the property. So this is the thing that concerns me. But Mr. Ruiz has assured me that, and also Dylan, their engineer, that they are working to do the best possible thing. And so that's my biggest concern. I just want, for the record, that I am able to communicate with them, and everything's going. I'm pleased with them and with the applicant as well.
Great.
So I just want to emphasize that I am concerned about the overflow of the water, stormwater. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment on this? Okay, seeing none, we'll bring it back for action. The question?
Councilmember Richardson?
Yes.
Councilmember Darms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Mayor Marks?
Yes, and resolution 413-25 passes. Moving on to 7B, resolution number 416-26. Excuse me 1 second. I think it's off yet. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, where was I? John Peters.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Mayor,
Waiting for my PowerPoint.
Oh.
There we go.
read the resolution,
Yes,
short title.
thank you. I got.
Thank you.
Mr. Waters, will you read it into the record first?
Certainly, this is item number 7B, resolution number 416-26, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Orange City, Florida, amending the annual operating budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 by adjusting revenue and expenses, repealing all resolutions or parts of resolutions in conflict herewith, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. John Peters.
All right, thank you. This is actually about the Oak and East Grays intersection and pedestrian improvements. We, about a year ago, the council had discussions about the intersection of Oak and East Graves. We had a very lively discussion about different options. You asked staff to go back, take a look at what options are available for pedestrian safety and improving the area. Obviously, pedestrian safety is an issue, but then there's some other deficiencies that play into this. For instance, at the southwest corner of the intersection, you'll see there's a large tree there. It impacts the slope of the sidewalk. That sidewalk and both legs of that corner do not meet ADA requirements. That's a 5% grade or a 2% cross slope. It exceeds both of those, and it made it extremely difficult to meet ADA. Would actually require removing that tree. Then within the intersection, you can see the alligator pavement. There is a severe drainage problem. It actually works its way across the sidewalk downstream to the swale between the eastbound and westbound leg of Graves. So that's a problem that we had to evaluate. So this is the existing conditions. The blacked out areas are areas of sidewalk that we felt that we were going to have to deal with. So we had three options that we took a look at. First one is signalized cross-section. These are the ones that have the high-intensity lighting and that type of thing. Then we had looked at raised sidewalks, and then we looked at raised intersection. The signalized pedestrian crossing, as you can see in this example, you know, they have signs up, they have high intensity, they're yellow, green colors. In this particular example, they actually had lights that are on the pavement. And given the nature of this intersection, that probably would have been what we looked at because it gets extremely dark in that area because of the tree cover. The pros of doing this, it obviously enhances pedestrian safety. The cons are it does not address the non-ADA compliant sidewalks. Does not address the drainage problem. The site is not conducive to solar power, resulting in higher electric costs. And then the site is not conducive to proper placement of the signage with the current sidewalk configuration. Then we looked at raised sidewalks. And I want you all to note here that this particular raised sidewalk is actually a mid-block. And that's an important thing to remember here. It's not at an intersection, it's mid-block. The pros are it provides visual evidence of a sidewalk. It slows vehicular traffic. And then it partially enhances pedestrian safety. And the reason I say that is because when you're at an intersection, you do raise sidewalk, it impedes the vehicle turning. And then they're looking at the ground to turn and not at the pedestrian. So, you know, on one hand, for people going straight through, it helps pedestrian safety. For people turning, it doesn't because they're focused on the pavement and not the pedestrian. The cons on this location did not address the ADA non-compliant sidewalk without removing the large oak tree and actually make the current drainage problem worse. So then we looked at a raised intersection. There are currently no raised intersections in the city, so this is an extremely new concept for this city. There are some really good examples in the Central Florida area. My favorite one is on Orange Avenue in Orlando next to Lake Ivanhoe, just recently built. It really enhances the pedestrian safety because people park on Highland and then they walk down to go to the lake. And so consequently, there's a fair amount of pedestrian traffic that crosses the road. By having the raised intersection, people really slow down and pedestrians are able to get across safely. The pros, it allows for the sidewalk on all four legs of the intersection. Right now, we have sidewalks on 3 legs. The portion that crosses Oak on both the north and the south side, and then the portion that crosses East Graves on the east side. the west side crossing East Graves has no sidewalk. So if you're on the wrong side of Oak, you got to cross Oak, then cross East Graves, and possibly cross Oak again instead of having a direct connection. This design allows it to include that fourth leg, so that's an improvement. It will allow for the sidewalks, all of them, to be fully ADA compliant because we're raising the intersection, and when we raise the intersection, the sidewalk comes up with it. So we will be able to be ADA compliant. It will slow traffic speeds. Typically, on a raised intersection that does not have a stop sign, the speed drops to about 20 miles an hour. I'm sure many of you all have been through there where people can see the light at 1792 green, and they actually speed up. They're not going to be able to do that with this intersection because they'll have to slow down to cross the intersection. It enhances pedestrian safety, and it's actually visually more pleasing. And part of that is when we went through the TRC review process, the recommendation from TRC is that the crosswalks themselves, following the concept that we have throughout the CRA, we will do the colored stamp herringbone brick crosswalk. So that will be very visually pleasing. The ramps themselves will be concrete, so it will stand out. It will be a lighter color than the pavement. So overall, it will be a much more pleasing look. The con, quite honestly, it's uniqueness. It is very unique, and one of the things that concerns me is I think this will be a popular concept, and we're going to be asked to do it more places. I already can envision we're putting a four-way stop at Levitt and East Graves. I can see certain council members that may want to do a raised intersection there, but we'll deal with that after we see how this one works. So the proposed improvements, we will install a raised intersection which will improve drainage, creates ADA compliant sidewalks without impacting the existing trees, improves pedestrian opportunities and safety, and slows vehicular traffic. We will install new sidewalks on all four legs of the of Oak and East Graves intersection. We will install 20 permanent parking spaces. We will have 17 spaces along East Graves from Oak to Holly on the north side. Right now, that pavement is roughly 22 feet wide. I have seen everything from people parking in that area to people passing me in that area. I can't tell you how many people have actually passed. They think it's a two-lane section, and they pass people trying to get to 1792. By putting the parking in, we provide extra parking for potential future redevelopment opportunities. We already have a parking shortage in the area we all are aware of. And then over on Oak itself, we don't really have designated parking spaces, but for those people who are familiar with the area, people park on the shoulder. It is, at this point, basically dirt. The trees are not really protected in that area. So what we're doing is we're putting in defined curved parking spaces along Oak. We're widening Oak from what now is about 16 feet to 20 feet. So it will be a true two-lane road with the parking on the side. Now, speaking of parking, the plans, if we show them, show 9-foot by 22-foot parking spaces, which is the national standard. Our ordinance, as it is right now, requires a 10-foot by 22-foot. So part of what we're going to ask you tonight, and TRC recommended it, is that we waive the parking dimension for parallel spaces from 10 by 22 down to 9 by 22. That meets national standards, it's safe, and we're recommending that. And then we will be installing stamped concrete pedestrian crosswalks similar to the crosswalks throughout the CRA. Important thing here, within the CRA, it's actually thin brick in a concrete bed. What we're going to do is actually stamp concrete. we don't have loose bricks and that type of thing. It will be the same color. We will color match it, but it will actually be stamped concrete, not pavers themselves. And the total cost is anticipated to be $276,806, and I hope I'm not the low bidder. So this is a plan that shows, you will notice that on the left side of the intersection, the sidewalk is actually curved because of the telephone pole there that I don't want to move. So it will be curved, but there will be a curb protecting the pedestrian. You can see the 3 parking spaces along Oak. We're maintaining the handicap space for the bakery on the corner. And then at the very top, going to the left, you can see the parking spaces along East Graves. This is an example of the stamped concrete, what it will look like. So staff recommends City Council approve a waiver of the proposed 9-foot by 22-foot parallel parking spaces as shown on the plan. Authorize the project to proceed to construction bid phase for formal pricing and adopt budget amendment resolution number 416-26. I would like to thank Devlin Moore and the finance department for helping me with the budget resolution. And I'd like to thank the planning staff for their excellent comments when they reviewed the plans. It made the project much better. So with that, I will answer any questions you may have.
Any questions from the council? I have a, so option 3 obviously is the best option from what I can see what you're proposing. I love that it addresses the ADA, the stormwater issues, because that's, you know, obviously very important, and the parking. Because now if we're trying to create a downtown area, that just adds to more parking for things that are happening. So I love that we're planning for the future, you know, now. So great work on the project. When I don't know how long ago we brought this forward to the council. Do you remember how? It's been a while, right?
About a year ago.
About a year. So the reason it was brought to the council was because a lady had stopped me. She was trying to push her baby across Graves, and there's so much traffic that, you know, it was like playing the game chicken, right? And she asked me if I would ask you all if we could do this. And so I think it's going to benefit a lot of residents in Orange City to have a safer crossing there. I know it's close to Panny Pan too, and a lot of people walk there in that area. So I'm glad that this is finally coming to fruition, and I hope that we can pass it tonight. And that being said, we just need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve a waiver of the 9 by 22-foot parallel parking space requirement and authorize the project to proceed to the construction bid phase for formal pricing and adopt budget amendment resolution number 416-26.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any public comment on this? Can you come up to the podium? I'm sorry, you have to come up. Oh, yeah.
Hi, my name's Troy. The 3 spaces along Oak, the spacing that you have set up there, is that due to any specific reason why we couldn't put additional spaces there?
Excellent question. It doesn't show up well on this plan, but it would protect the trees that are there now. When we put the additional width on the roadway and moves everything 4 feet, then they put the parking spaces in, we will be into where the trees are. And so I wanted to protect the trees because they're healthy trees.
Are there any trees on the opposite side of that street?
There's a tree at the corner, but no, I don't believe there's any. There may be one other tree on that side, but I can't recall right offhand.
Okay, that was my only question. Was
Okay.
Just the reason for the additional spacing.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, come on up.
Tom Hewitt, 1060 Tappan Circle. I'm just looking at this. The proposal is just for the budget, correct? And like you said, you had another meeting resolution for the project, correct?
No.
So
No,
the-
previously, we had a discussion and
Yeah.
action under new business that was
Uh-huh.
brought back, and based on the instructions at that time, these plans have been developed and are now being presented for their
Okay.
approval or denial.
My question is this: if the resolution you have is just for a budget amendment, okay, would the approved waiver and the authorized project to proceed and whatnot should be a different resolution for the project?
They don't require a resolution. The only item that we're addressing that requires a resolution is to amend the budget.
Yeah, okay, so you're only amending the budget. So.
Well, by resolution.
And I understand, but I'm just trying, if you're just amending the budget for the resolution, is what I'm saying, and you already have the project in the planning phase and stuff, do you not, do you not need another resolution or meeting or whatnot in order to proceed for the changes that are being done with the project?
No,
No?
no,
There's nothing that's required?
no.
So you could do a budget resolution and a project change at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Come on up.
Oh,
Sorry.
Daryl Victor, 244 North Levitt. Just wanted to ask you a question. You had mentioned that there's going to be a four-way stop sign at Levitt and Graves. Is that correct?
I should have kept my mouth shut. Yes, there is plan to put a four-way stop at that intersection. We had a request. We have a process following the manual uniform traffic control devices that we evaluate intersections as to the appropriateness of a four-way stop. That particular intersection met the requirements of manual uniform traffic control devices, so we recommended that we proceed. We have gotten pricing, and Fox Knight is supposed to be doing the pavement marking within the next 2 weeks.
May I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
May I ask the council that at the next session that there be a presentation on any improvements on that intersection of Levitt and Graves, please? Thank you.
Well, we're not really on the, can you just put that on your?
You can bring that up. Where's new business?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So, right now, we're on this agenda item, so we can't talk about another agenda item right now. Note taken, we could always bring it up under new business. Okay. Thank you. Any other public comment? We're good? Okay. We're gonna bring it back for the question.
Councilmember Darms,
Yes.
Councilmember Knight,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm,
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford,
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson,
Yes.
Mayor Marks.
Yes, and resolution 416-26 is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to 5C, resolution number 418-26. Mr. Waters, will you read that into the record, please?
Certainly, Madam Mayor, this is item number 7C, resolution number 418-26, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Orange City, Florida, approving and authorizing the acceptance of an employment contract with Christine Davis for the charter position of city manager, repealing all resolutions or parts of resolutions in conflict herewith, and providing for severability and providing for an effective date. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Christine Davis.
Hi, good evening, Mayor, council members. First, I'd like to start off by thanking you for the vote back on December 9th to approve me as the next city manager. Understand that during that time, we worked on looking at some comparables. I approached this similar to how we handle annual when we look at say union openers, where we look at the wages and we do a market analysis and we see what is the market currently paying. And that review, if you bring up item 1, the first item or the first document we're going to look at is of Volusia County, removing some outliers, which would be the highest paid city manager in the city and the lowest paid, and arriving at somewhat of an average. I did take the information that was previously presented under Dale that pertained to the market survey, and I worked to update it. So at this time, the average based on the data up there is $206,500 and I believe $3 for the annual salary. The car allowances, they kind of range, but the average was $648. So from there, I'm currently making $180,250, and my ask is below the average. We typically benchmark ourselves against the average when we're looking at our staff personnel. We routinely do that for the union. We're currently doing that. You just approved a market analysis for all general employees. And this is very similar to what we will be doing for every employee in every position under general. And we don't do that every year. We do give, an annual salary adjustment to hopefully keep up in between those market analyses. However, with this, it's a little unique only because it's the city manager and it hasn't been done in a while. And that's very normal. When a city manager accepts a job, they kind of run with either the general or they're out there all by themselves, quite honestly, because they don't necessarily fall under your policies and procedures. So the next slide shows the data that is shared throughout the state. It's a database. And it's for cities 11,000 to 19,000. And the average is a little less, which makes sense. Typically what drives a city manager's salary sometimes is the complexity of the city. How many employees are you managing? Next page. That's a little outdated.
Do you have any paper copies of this with you?
This is very large, so
really
I
read
do
that.
not, but I can distribute them. So, but the overall conversation shows that these cities have an average of 199,000 annually, with an average car allowance of 512. From there, you can go back to page 1. Your two most recent appointed city managers are in Daytona Beach Shores, who was appointed this month and was promoted from public safety into the city manager role at 190,000. And the second most recent is Edgewater, which is a larger than us at 25,000, and that salary is 195,000 with 237 employees. So at that point, we're looking at, this is a starting point. This is a public process. I've spoke to a number of you along the way, and at this point, I'm open to any comments questions, and we can go through it line item by line item. I do have a spreadsheet that is item number 3. I don't know if you have that up yet, I'm sorry. That shows the comparison of the city manager interim contract to the proposed city manager contract. And from there, on my form, I have notes where I can make notes based on each section. The term is the same as the previous city manager and most common, and that's just an indefinite term. You are hired as a at will with a contract that can be terminated at any time without cause or with cause. And then there's the standard 20 weeks that the state allows under state statute. And from there, we can move down, or I can answer questions if you've had a chance to review the contract and would like to ask any specific questions. Now, this contract was modeled off of the contract that your city attorney drafted and was adopted by the city of Daytona Beach Shores. So we took that as a starting point and built from there. The different nuances about the salary, pension, car allowance, and so forth is where we have to have dialogue or not, or ask questions, and I can work to clarify. I did want to. I think most of you understand my career here. However, I would like to just reiterate. I started in 1995. For 6 years, I worked in finance in various titles, and then in 2001, I was promoted to your finance director, where I served as the finance director for the city for 23 years. It's quite an honor that I have done that. And then in 2023, I was promoted to your assistant city manager, where I worked for just over 2 years. I'm very dedicated to this city. I know this city. I have much appreciation for both the city and staff and the council and how this city operates. And it's my pleasure to work on this.
Any questions, council?
Can I just say something?
Yeah, of course.
I just want to say that when you stepped in, you had some big shoes to fill with Dale leaving, and I had every confidence in you in the world. You've done a fantastic job serving as interim city manager, and you have handled the firestorms that we have gone through the last couple of months with grace and poise and professionalism. And I just want to say that I think you've done a fantastic job, and thank you for that. And there's your hee-haw.
Someone's got a reminder.
So I don't think that anybody's questioning your experience or things like that. We've already kind of decided we wanted you here.
This is a
But-
big audience. I'm on YouTube.
No. My only concern is like I didn't get them to look at them, and it's hard to read them on the screen.
I can
and I
hand
like to
you my
dissect
copy if you'd
things when it
like.
comes to money, especially for the city. And so when I look at it, the other one with the different cities, and we talked about this earlier, so it's not a surprise, but we always do an average of all the cities, and we try to do our homework to see what the other cities are doing, which is smart. But we don't really compare to all the other cities because, like, Deltona's got 100,000 people, so they shouldn't even be on the average of the list because that's apples and oranges, right?
Well, we don't cut them out for your fire and police. So I would not want to do that. That's true. But when we're looking at a market, the market isn't
Right.
driven just by population. It's driven by what's in the area.
Well,
And
that's
then
what I was
we
going to say. So
remove.
she had clarified that it was a market search, which I understand that. But what I was trying to say is that there's different things that you look at when you're trying to come up with a salary for anybody, not just you. And, the experience as a city manager. For example, Dale Arrington was with us for what, 10 years? 10 years. And I think she was making about what you're asking for. Is that correct?
No, she made what I'm making now.
Okay. So when I look at that and I'm like, okay, so Christine Davis wants more than Dale Arrington, but Dale Arrington had 10 years experience. So that was a red flag for me. And then I'm looking at the numbers. Just bear with me here. But then also, like I said, the other cities, you always, when you look at their salaries, you look at their experience, you look at, what the other cities are doing or how big they are, what their population is, and all those different variables. I think that the contract is great. I didn't have any questions with the contract. I just kind of looked at that, and then I just saw the other sheets a couple hours ago before we got here, so I didn't really have a chance to look it over. And then we had originally talked about as a council that we would give her 175, I believe, when we approved it.
The initial.
Interim. And she had pointed out that the COLA now, she's up to 180. So she's asking for a little bit more than that of what she's already making, which I'm not opposed to. I just like to dissect all the numbers and just make sure we're doing the right thing with our money, right? So, so my only concern is the 10-year experience versus 2 years assistant. Because no disrespect to 20-some years as finance, because you were awesome finance, And with a city manager, there's different things. There's, when you look for a city manager, which we didn't go out for a search, so that's why I'm having this conversation, because it's important to think about all these things. But, the different things that she brings to the table as far as a city manager or any city manager when they apply for the job, right? Whether it be finance, economic development,
planning,
leadership, all those things. So that's just something that, we consider when we make up what we're gonna approve for the salary, and that's what I wanted to put it out there. Okay. So I hope I made sense. Councilwoman.
One thing to
Knight.
keep in mind, when Dale was here for 10 years, generally the increase every year is around 3%.
Yeah. Cool.
If we were to hire Dale today, Dale would make over 200,000. So that's something to consider. I'm just putting it out there. I did some of my own research, and it's all at home on my computer. I didn't print it out. But what she was asking for is a $9,000 increase yearly. And really, that's not bad compared to other cities around the state with our similar other municipalities with our population and with our FTEs. So it was pretty right on point in a middle range, right, for other municipalities around the state. I didn't just look at local, I looked at statewide. So that's why I thought that was more than fair what she was asking for. I was surprised it wasn't more, but.
And that's why I brought it up, because I didn't see those sheets until a couple hours ago. I didn't really look at them. So I didn't see, and you did do that market research with around the state.
Yeah.
That you showed me real quick. So I know she did do that, but I didn't see it. So it was like hard to make a decision when I don't even know the facts, right? So that's why I wanted to bring that up. So that's what I was saying. I'm not against it. I just, we didn't get our agenda till Monday, and it's Thursday. So we usually have a whole week to read our agenda. So it was like cramming for college and getting it done, right? And then we had last minute things that were displayed right before. So that's why I brought it up.
I just wanted to share what I had done on my own research.
Anybody else have any comments from the council? Councilwoman Stafford?
Madam. Yes, and I think it's a pretty fair, after my research and so forth, I think it's a pretty fair salary, that $189, for what all you're gonna do, and with the 401k and the car allowance, I think it's pretty fair. Even if we went out, we would have to pay even twice as much, well, not twice as much, but close to. So, and I appreciate all you've done.
Thank you.
Okay. With that being said, we just need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 418-26.
I'd like to second.
We have a motion, we have a second. I have a public comment here. John McHugh?
No, ma'am, I don't need to say a word.
You good? Okay. All right. Well, and come on up, please.
Once again, my name is Troy. Just a quick question. When did Dale Arrington leave? 2022, 2023?
Last year.
Last year?
August of 2025.
Okay, so you've been doing the job for a year already?
No, about 4 months exactly today, I believe.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, that was my only question. I just wanted to
Maybe
make
5
sure that we were taking into account, the cost of living has increased about 8% over the last year. So if that is the ask, I think that you should maybe bump it up a little bit.
Thank you. Come on up. Wait a minute. We got one more ahead of you. Go ahead.
No, ladies first, please.
I did notice that the mayor made the comment that they only had 4 days to look this over, but also you guys are asking us as citizens to familiarize ourselves with an agenda item in 12 hours.
Come on up, Tom.
I personally, Tom Hewitt, 1060 Tapper Circle. I personally have no problem with the contract, nor do I have any problem with you voting in Christine Davis to do that. The only problem I have is that the council should have let the procedure for looking at other hired people continue. That's the only problem I have. All right, is always the procedure. Nothing against the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Come on up.
My name is Narita H. Williamson, and I live at 811 Gunnison Drive. And no disrespect, Mayor, but you keep saying that Christine doesn't have all the experience that Dale Arrington have. But we failed to realize that Dale Arrington also was training her all these years for her position. So she might not have the qualifications on paper, but whenever Dale Arrington was absent, she was always acting in her position. If she didn't feel she was qualified for the position before she left office, she would not have made that recommendation. And based on my experience working in HR and working for the state of Alaska, whenever you have someone acting, you know that they're qualified to do the position. And I feel that Christine has done a wonderful job and that we need to stop downgrading all the experience that she have. Congratulations, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
I just must say this. I heard the gentleman say it about how last time we went out for a search for a city manager. I was sitting there when we went out for a search. The city of Orange City paid a whole bunch of money to go 6 miles down to get Dale. We had people coming in. I was at most all the meetings coming in from everywhere that the city paid for. And then we went 6 miles and got Dale. So going out for a search wasn't feasible for the money that the city of Orange City have.
Any other public comment? Okay, bring it back for the question.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson?
Yes.
Councilmember Darn?
Yes.
Mayor Martin?
Yes, and resolution number 418-26 passes. Okay, we're moving on to 8, discussions and action. 8A, good citizenship selection to 2026 first quarter. Justin?
Good evening, City Council and Mayor. Justin Valley Joe, Public Information Officer. So it's that time of year for the Good Citizenship nominations. So the purpose is, for the Good Citizenship Award Program is a way to recognize people who go above and beyond for our community, and this is just one way of being able to do that. So we have general guidelines. Nominations are allowed to be accepted throughout the year. It can go to individuals, couples, groups, or organizations. While nominations can be submitted without limit, an individual, couple, group, or organization is eligible to win only once or be nominated once a calendar year. Nominations are reviewed by City Council quarterly, which is why I'm doing this tonight, and the council can select as many recipients as they would like. So we have a criteria and eligibility. Award recipients, they can reside in or outside of city limits. Additionally, eligible recipients should meet at least one of the following requirements or criteria. Demonstrated exceptional volunteer service that shows a dedication to making Orange City a great place to live, work, and play. Made a positive difference in a fellow citizen's life, or has demonstrated a care and concern for Orange City and its residents. Worked with or organized other individuals to solve problems in Orange City, or has had a mission to better Orange City in a positive way. And displayed qualities of honesty, integrity, and service, and is an example to Orange City residents. So tonight we have 2 nominations. I'm going to do my best not to butcher his name. Michael Stradacchio. And I apologize if I messed it up. I know my name gets butchered every once in a while, so I try my best not to do it as well. And then we also have Trey Love Lawrence. So Mr. Michael is known for being compassionate and having judgment-free service. He donates his time, resources to prepare and serve Thanksgiving and Christmas meals for hundreds of people. Operates a food pantry to support residents in need beyond the holiday season. He organizes a Christmas toy donation effort to help local families and children. Serves with a cheerful, generous spirit and a strong commitment to community well-being. Brings volunteers others together around a mission of helping others and strengthening Orange City, and creates a positive, welcoming experience for those receiving help and those volunteering alongside him. And if I'm sure everyone is well aware, he is, I believe, the owner of Knuckle Sandwich. Trey Love Lawrence, she demonstrates volunteer service through leadership and involvement in the community, including her nonprofit work for Phase Pillars of Hope. Donates her time as a Rotarian, participates in Orange City Chamber events and supports community initiatives, and organized family and kids-focused events in December at Mill Lake Park, helping create positive community experiences, which is what we just had last month with the Winter Wonderland event that was at Mill Lake. Promotes positivity in Orange City by creating welcoming spaces where residents, artists, book clubs, and other local businesses, business owners can gather. Designs events that support the community in a new and engaging way, and advocates for women's and children's health and wellness, and works to increase community awareness through ongoing outreach and connections. So now this is where, council, you guys can discuss if you would like to nominate, or if you would like to select either Michael or Trey Love, or both of them for a good citizenship award. If you are to select them tonight, they will be invited to receive an award during the next city council meeting on February 10th. So now this is where you guys can select.
I just have a question for you before we get into discussion. I know that Michael has won before. Has it been a year?
I will look into that to make sure that hasn't been a year.
I think it has, but I don't know.
I looked at previous ones, and it looked like it's been over 1 calendar year.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any comments from the council?
Well, Madam Mayor, I don't know the other person, but Mike Stradacchio, he's taking care of first responders, free dinners on Thanksgiving, 3 dinners on Christmas, and he's done a lot for the community, and he seems to be willing to do whatever's necessary for the community. So I like Stradacchio for this, providing he's eligible to receive it.
Okay.
Councilwoman Richardson?
I think we should just nominate both of them. It's only 2 citizens that we have up there. I don't see the problem. Why not?
Okay. Councilwoman Stafford?
Madam Mayor, yes, and like I said, both of them should receive the award. Trey Love, I've known her. She does a lot in the community. She does a lot of good outreach work for everybody. So I think both of them are great citizens, and she'll get the recognition.
I think both of them are well deserving of the award. They both benefit and work and help the community in different ways, right?
Mhm.
But they both have a great impact on our community. So I think both should receive the
I'll add to that. I met Trey Love when she first opened her wine shop, and she's pretty fabulous. And I know Michael, so I'm on board also with that. So I think we got a formal nomination from Councilwoman Richardson. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
A second.
So a motion. You want to make a motion on that, please? Somebody? If you want to.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that both individuals be recognized as good citizens for the Good Citizens Award.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any public comment on this? Okay, we'll bring it back for the question.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson?
Yes.
Councilmember Darnes?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Mayor Marks?
Yes, and we will approve both names for the Good Citizenship Award. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to 8B, consideration of sponsorship special event request for Orange City Elementary PTA request for in-kind services for Roadrunner Road Race 5K Run Walk. Ashley Gay.
Good evening. Council, I have with me this evening our new special event coordinator. For those of you that have not met, Lizette Santiago. Just wanted to make you be aware of her face and that she's going to be up here presenting these sponsorships going forward. So, all right. So we have the Orange City Elementary PTA request for in-kind services for their Roadrunner race. So just to reiterate, the policy that council approved is an approval up to $1,000 of in-kind services. That's, it also can include the permitting fees, advertising assistance, staff time, and rental fees. So this applicant has been running this race for 4 years now, and the primary location is at the elementary school. This is a fundraiser for the PTA to bring in it's raising funds to support teachers and various school projects. They didn't have a specific goal in mind this year, just to support the teachers and whatever needs that they have for the year. So they start out at the elementary school, and then they just do one lap through Mill Lake Park. So they're asking us for the use of the park, but primarily it's just a quick lap through there. Their event does start at 6:30 in the morning. So what you're considering here is when staff reached out to the different departments, fire's requesting 2 personnel, and police are requesting 2 as well for the 2 hours. So total staff cost for the request is $460. And then we have the fee for the special event permit is $50. So the total asked for council this evening is $510 for in-kind services. So since they're well under the $1,000, staff is recommending the approval of the Orange City Elementary PTA Roadrunner Road Race 5K Run Walk with the non-monetary in-kind service fee of $510.
I do have a speaker form for this. Would the council like to hear from them first, or do you want to, any comments? Yeah, okay. Audrey Jones?
Oh, sorry. She's our applicant. I'm so sorry. I meant
That's
to mention
okay.
that. Okay.
She filled out a form, so I thought.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight, and thank you for your time and the service you give to our community. My name is Audrey Jones. I'm the current president of the Orange City Elementary PTA. Our group is made up of parents, families, educators, volunteers, and community members who are working together to support our students and strengthen the connection between our schools and our community. PTA's mission is to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. This year, we are focusing on creating meaningful programs and events that support student enrichment, family engagement, and teacher appreciation, while being mindful of limited budgets and rising costs. To help us do that, we have respectfully requested the in-kind donations from the City of Orange City for the fire and police to assist with our 4th annual Roadrunner Road Race 5K. In-kind donations make a real difference. It allows us to stretch every dollar further, expand our reach, and ensure our programs remain accessible to all families. Even small contributions can have a big impact. In addition, we would love to extend a warm invitation for any council member or community members who are available to attend the Roadrunner Road Race 5K on Saturday, February 21st at 7:30 a.m. It's currently $30 to sign up for that race, and it includes a t-shirt and a medal. This is just a small way to support the school that everyone loves so much. We are also welcoming anyone to attend one of our upcoming meetings or events. You can find those on our Facebook page. Your presence would mean a great deal to our families and students, and it would give us an opportunity to share more about our work and hear your ideas and perspectives. We are proud to be part of this community, and we value the partnership between our schools, families, and city leadership. Thank you for your time and consideration and your continued support of our students and families and our beloved school. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? No? Okay. We just need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that the Sponsorship Review Committee recommends approval of the non-monetary in-kind services fee of $510 for the Orange City PTA Roadrunner 5K.
Do we get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a second. Any other citizen comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson? Yes. Councilmember Jarn?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Mayor Martin?
Yes, and sponsorship for the Orange City Elementary PTA request is granted. Okay. Moving on to 8C, consideration of sponsorship special event requests from everyone is someone. I think it's everybody is somebody, right? Okay, typo on here. For in-kind services for the Multicultural Heritage Festival. Ashley Gay.
Okay, so Everyone is Someone Inc. So this is for the Multicultural Heritage Festival that's going to be held at Mill Lake Park on February 28th. The event time is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Just like to bring council's attention, since we received the application, there were 3 changes that we would like to make sure you were aware of. There on the application, it's listed that they're asking now to sell alcohol. Another one is the event hours. They were until 5 and now it's been changed to 4. And food vendors were selected as no, but food is actually being sold. So just wanted to bring that to your attention, please. Again, I'm sorry, the policy overview, the same applies. We're looking at approval of up to $1,000 in in-kind services. So for this location, since it's Mill Lake Park and it's an all-day event, so it will be a rental of the entire park. The applicant is requesting to waive the fees for the park rental, the sign permit fee, advertising assistance, waiver of staff time, and requesting only minimal staffing as required by the city and approval to sell alcohol. So the departments came back with the request for 2 fire for the 6 hours for the event, and police as well. They've requested 2 police officers for the entire event for 6 hours. And then new for the Parks Department is we have reduced it down to 1 staff person for 6 hours. So the total staffing cost for the event would be $1,620. So including in that fee would be your rental fee of the 4 pavilions, so that's $320. And then the special event permit fee is $50. So we're looking at total cost, parks fees $240, fire fee $660, police fees $720, and the rental fees of $320, special event fee of $50. So the total event cost is $1,990. So what we're seeking from council this evening is approval on 2 matters. Of course, is to the committee is recommending approval of the Orange City Multicultural Heritage Festival and the in-kind services of $1,000, which means the festival would be responsible to pay the city the $990. Council is also asked to consider the approval or denial of the request to serve or sell alcoholic beverages at the event.
Excuse me, you have to wait until. Sorry, I'll call you at 1 minute, I promise. So on our agenda, the second paragraph of the, okay, forget it. Next item, sorry, I read the wrong thing. Okay, is there any comment from the council, or would you like the applicant to come up like the last one and we'll have them comment first? Yes? All right, come on up, Ms. Stafford. I was reading that.
I just would like to make a correction. I was approached by a vendor at our Chambers meeting for wine tasting, and I'm not sure what it's all about, and I have asked him to contact or be present today, and since he has not did either, I would like to pull that request for alcohol, because I don't know anything about it. Or it was for wine testing. They won't sell it there. You order it or whatever way that is, and I would like to pull it since he's not here to explain it in full.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other comment from the public on this? Okay, seeing none, we'll bring it back for motion.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Multicultural Heritage Festival and the provision of non-monetary in-kind services valued at $1,000.
I'll second that.
And you got the second. Are we doing two different motions for this?
Well,
She pulled
You
the
got it all
alcohol.
together? I just want to make sure. Okay. So we got a motion, we got a second. Kaylee?
We might have a problem because of the alcohol.
Hold on one second. Okay, did you have to say? Are we okay?
No, ma'am, we're good.
Okay,
Thank
want to
you.
make sure. Okay.
Councilmember Richardson? Yes. Councilmember Darms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Mayor Marks?
Yes, and the sponsorship is granted for Everybody Somebody Multicultural Heritage Festival for $1,000 plus the alcohol.
No,
Approval.
without the alcohol, right?
No alcohol.
Oh, no
That's
alcohol?
what was pulled. was
Yeah, she pulled the alcohol.
Oh, I thought they were still selling alcohol, no?
No, the only thing read into the record was the first item, so we're
Okay,
good.
without the alcohol, for the
With
record.
no alcohol.
No alcohol.
All right, moving on to D. 8D, approve amendment number 1 to contract Q187-23 Architectural Engineering Services for Public Facilities Enhancements Project. John Peters.
Thank you, Mayor. This is for architectural services to design the interior renovation of City Hall. With the 100-year anniversary of the city, we have been very busy with regard to the building itself. A year ago, we completed the roof replacement because we had a very serious water intrusion issue. We could not really pursue interior renovations until we dealt with the water. So far, we haven't had any water in the building, so that worked. Last month, you approved us moving forward with NV5 Engineering to design the exterior landscaping and sidewalk replacement. And so now we're here to talk about the interior of the building. Very simply, this is the bottom floor. We're calling it the first floor. I always called it the basement, former jail. This is basically 3,000 square feet. From an engineering standpoint, this is a really inefficient space. And the reason I say that is, look at the white. The white is not being used. So, there's a lot of empty space that's not being well utilized. So if we were going through alternatives, what you'll see is the white is greatly reduced. So we get much more efficient in terms of the work being involved. The key here is this space is essentially a little bit more than twice the square footage of the first floor, what I call the main floor. There is, and the thing it gives me is, there's a beam that goes right across here that holds up the next two floors. So everything from that point is all new single-story structure. And then the part on the below that line I was drawing is the original building. So the plan is to, this is the layout. Like I said, we're much more efficient. If I go back, all that white to much less white. The estimate for this area is $295,000. Second floor, that is light blue, so don't think it's all white. But there is significant amount of white space along the front of the building. And it's 1,400 square feet essentially. And then this layout, there's less white on the left-hand side. So this is once again a more efficient layout in terms of utilization of space. This has an estimate of 183,000. Part of this is due to having to move walls, actual walls. We're downstairs with more partitions. And then the next one is the finance floor, which is right at 1,000 square feet. A lot of white. New layout, a lot less white. So once again, much more efficient layout, more offices being created. It's a small area right now. It's basically an open floor plan concept, except for, except for offices over in this area that are hard walled. So this is a relatively inexpensive space. So the first floor has an estimate of $295,000, second floor $183,000, third floor $52,000, for a total of $530,000 for the whole building. Now remember, we're talking about roughly 5,400 square feet, 5,500 square feet of work. That's basically less than $100 a square foot that we're talking about, which is not a huge amount of money. JL2 proposes a fee of $83,000 for the full design services to complete plans for the renovation of City Hall in accordance with the three options as presented. The fee is approximately 6% of the total estimate for the renovation. Now, I'll be honest with you, I had a heart attack when I saw that number. So I did a little research. Based on national standards, fees associated with design for renovating an existing building is typically between 15 and 20%. Given the complexity of a 100-year-old structure, staff believes a 16% fee is not only reasonable, but very reasonable. And due to the complexity of the project, staff recommends the interim city manager, now city manager, have the authority to authorize to spend up to 10% contingency or $8,300 for unforeseen issues that may arise during the design phase. I fully expect that we will have some unforeseen things come up. So with that, the recommended motion is to approve Amendment 1 to Contract Q187-23, Architectural Engineering Services Public Facilities Enhancement Project with JL2 Architecture, LLC, in the amount of $83,000, and authorize the city manager to execute the amendment and authorize the city manager to execute any subsequent change orders not to exceed a contingency amount of 10% or $8,300. Available for any questions you may have.
Any council questions or comments?
I think the designs that you have are fantastic. The way you've rearranged it and utilized the floor space.
Pardon me?
The way that the designs that are there, the way that the floor space was utilized is fantastic.
She said you did a great job.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I'd just like to add that this is under budget at this time based on what's appropriated, and that there will be amenities that we currently don't have. We currently don't have running water on every floor. The intention is to correct that. Overall, it's accommodating a minimal amount of future growth and the positions and how we're going to manage. It's, you can only fit so many bodies into 1,000 square feet or 3,000 or what have you. So I'm very excited about this. I will also note that we did a test area in the front entrance of City Hall where we have already worked to remediate the water damage. By the time this is designed and bid, we will be probably at least 9 months, if not a year, of that test to see how well it held up now that the envelope's been addressed. So from a staff perspective, this is very welcomed. We're glad to see that it's appearing to be under budget. I will not hold my breath, but I will cross my fingers and toes. And then I would also like to caution, due to the fact that we're working in a historic building, there are potential pitfalls that we may have to bring back to you. I do not want to think for a moment, there's questions that pop up. We've gone back to Johnny with JL2 and said, well, what does this mean to you? And he's like, well, I'm not a historic, so we will be working with the state as certain questions arise. So I'm cautiously optimistic that the budget will hold, but just recognize with this historic structure that when we just did that front little piece, I have pictures of when they opened it up, the amount of damage that you just didn't see. There have been numerous repairs in that area we didn't know about. And when we opened it up, we found out it wasn't wood, it was putty that had been repaired year over year. I can't even tell you when. So we're very happy, and we're very optimistic, but it is a big undertaking. So I just wanted to caution on
Don't we have $1 million budgeted for it?
We do.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, okay. That was gonna be my first question to you, is 8,300 enough for contingency? Because it is an old building, it's like an old house. You never know what you're gonna get into, right? But it looks like we got a little bit of buffer that we can bring it back if we need to, so.
I was actually going to bring a prop tonight. I have collect antique, old engineering, architecture books, and I have a copy of the original American Concrete Institute code from 1921.
Wow.
4 years before this building was built. So this building was built according to that code, and when I flipped through it, it scares me. Back then, 2,000 PSI concrete was really strong. Now it's like 5 or 6. Back then, steel reinforcement was 20,000 KSI.
'Cause that's all
it's
they
now
had,
60.
right?
So, it's not a strong building in terms of the code back then. So I'm like the city manager. I worry about what we may find. When we did the repair work in the front, there were some revelations that came out of it, but I think it was better than we expected in terms of revelations.
Well, I think that it's a gem in our city. It's a staple. It's beautiful, and I hope that we can keep preserving it. So I'm in favor. Councilwoman Darms, pull your microphone down, please. Pull your microphone down so we can hear you.
Sorry. I like the new layouts and everything. My question is, having been in there from the very beginning, when I went in there, I looked at the walls and I saw how bad they looked. Is this going to incorporate replacing those walls or fixing those walls so they don't look so archaic?
Ms. Darns, the area in the front lobby was the worst of the worst. We obviously have some areas, such as in the back of the current city manager's office, where some water came down along that back wall, and there's some damage along that, but that will be repaired.
Okay.
Most of the problems are pretty much centered on the exterior walls, except for the flat roof toward the clerk's office. But we did the major repairs on both of the flat roofs, so that's not a problem. And we've done ceiling repairs, so I feel pretty confident from a water standpoint that we've weathered the worst, pun intended.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the council? Vice Mayor? Good.
Hey, John, question. On the second floor, we go from 121, then 170, then 183. There's like 4 different renditions. Are we locked into the D option, or are we, I don't know how it was all broken down. But I was just curious, that other.
Yes, sir. That is option C. And that was selected because if you look at the other options, you see more white. That's the theme of this whole presentation, is how much white do you see on the drawing. This one has the least amount of white space, which means we're utilizing it and we're gaining more additional offices. So in addition, We are putting some hard walls in, taking the current office and splitting it in half, so that adds some costs.
So that means the city manager will get a big office?
No.
I don't know.
Actually, I believe she's gonna lose square footage.
Will the walls be any thicker?
I don't know. We'll ask. We'll
I-
get an
I-
option. and all-
Right now, you
and
can
determine
turn
I
how
think
much-
that-
Right
I
now,
think
you
the
can hear
biggest
a mouse
advantage-
break wind in the next room.
I think the biggest advantage for the city manager, if she wants to jump out the window, is it's a shorter distance. to run.
All right. With that being said, we just need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve amendment number 1 to contract Q187-23.
Go ahead.
Madam Mayor, public comment.
I was going to do that after the motion.
My
Right?
apologies.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we need a second on that?
Do I need to finish it?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Gosh,
Pardon
Paul.
me.
No. Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve amendment number 1 to contract Q187-23 Architectural Engineering Services Public Facilities Enhancement Projects with JL2 Architecture LLC in the amount of $83,000 and authorize the city manager to execute the amendment and approve and execute any subsequent change orders not to exceed a contingency amount 10% or $8,300.
A second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Any public comment on this?
I don't know the answer to it, but I have a question. Since this is a historic building, have anyone looked into the Florida Historic Preservation to see if any type of funding can be obtained to complete this project?
City manager?
I believe we will keep all our options open as we progress, and if we can get any, we will. But John, have you looked at any grant opportunities for this building? I know we have in the past. Typically, that'll come with construction, not with necessarily design. But we will. Go ahead.
Based on past experience, there's not very many opportunities for public grants. However, there are some private foundations that we may be able to look at in terms of possible grant opportunities, but right now that's pretty tough market.
Would it be possible or feasible to check with the Florida Preservation to see if we can get any funding to help with this project?
We will definitely be looking for all the opportunities we can.
Any other public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question. Oh, Tom? Sorry.
Tom Hewitt, 1060 Tappan Circle. As a member of the Orange City Historic Preservation Board, we've looked into having possible grants and stuff, even for the Orange City Shuffleboard. The only time that you'll get a major grant or anything from the National Historic Board is it has to be noted as a historic site. If it's just listed on the board as a building of age and listed as a reference, that's fine. But it actually has to be like a national historic site or a state historic site. That's the only time that you should get, you will probably get grants for preservation and whatnot. That I know.
Ms. Stafford, can you come up to the microphone just so, because it's being recorded, so everybody can hear? Thank you.
My question is, now that I'm getting a little knowledge here, is the city of Ernest City Town Hall listed on the National Historic Society?
Okay, can I?
Yes, come on.
All right, the building is listed on the National Historic Site, right, as a historic building. But it's not a national, what they would call a national registered site. In other words, like, let's say, Capitol.
Can you
Capitol
hear?
Building,
Can you hear him?
right, is a national historic monument. It's not listed as that. It's just listed as a historical building. But it has to be a monument before you get anything, really anything from the federal government.
Thank you. Educate.
Any other public comment on this? So make sure. Okay, we'll bring it back to the question.
Yes.
Councilmember Knight,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm,
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford,
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson. Yes. Mayor Martin.
Yes, and amendment number 1 to contract Q187-23 is approved. Moving on to 8E, landscape designs, various city properties. Ashley Gay.
Hello. It's been a long journey here. So, started this project back in 2023 with consultant Teresa Watkins with Sustainable Horticulture, and she brought along with her the our arborist. So, when Mill Lake opened, there was specific landscaping for that park. So we said, well, do we want to just focus on one park? Or we want to focus on all of them. So Teresa Watkins was brought in to assess every one of our parks. So it was very eye-opening when we got the list back from the arborist, the tree board, and it was kind of disheartening to see, okay, all these trees need to be removed. So it was a total of 24 trees. So going through the arborist report, trying to understand, why he's selecting it, does it need to come down today? Is it going to cause harm to someone? So all those factors were considered. And the city did take action on 12 of the trees immediately to mitigate any of the risk. Also, hurricane as well did bring some of the trees down. So of the trees that were listed on the arborist report, there were, again, 12 that are remaining that still need to come down. And we just felt like with losing trees for construction around the various parks, or other trees aging out, or again, losing them due to storms, we lost 9 trees in the dog park alone with that little F0 storm that happened a couple of years ago. So we're constantly losing trees. A lot of the trees were invasive trees. They just snap. So we're looking into how could we, use best use the city's tree bank funds. So in lieu of taking out the remaining trees and causing, the community to wonder why we're doing all this, because they don't see the bigger picture, knowing that we're going to be bringing in all these beautiful new trees and this landscaping. So sharing with you, council, tonight is our first step. Sorry, I thought I was on that one. So that was a whole long list that was provided by the arborist of the trees in the various parks and the conditions of those trees. Do I have any comment on that before I move out of that slide?
Any comments or questions, council? No?
Okay. So as we've been going through this as well, so for the landscape plans, while Teresa was out, Teresa Watkins was here on property, we also had her look at City Hall and utilities. City Hall is not part of this presentation this evening, but our utility department, since they have the green sand filters, that was one of the areas we asked her to look at. So with the green sand filters, we're trying to, hide the tanks from the 1792. So that the smaller project there, we were hoping to kick that off to go ahead and get those tanks hidden, which is the portion on the bottom of the plan, which would be installing blueberry trees and bamboo. So on the park side, you'd see bamboo on covering those tanks, and on 1792, you see the blueberry trees would be covering them. So there is a plan for the entire utilities. We're asking you tonight to approve all the plans, but just know they'll be handled in phases, because utilities, they are working with the CRA to change some fencing out there. So there's different plans that are going on with that. But primarily, I would like to focus on parks so I can get these 2 park projects done. So we focus specifically on the dog park and on Mill Lake. So for the dog park, we're proposing to put in, this plan is to put in some tapaboya trees, those beautiful trees that we have at Mill Lake with the yellow flowers that bloom now through March, and just to kind of give a shade break, because right now if you go on the small dog park, there's really not a lot of shade break. So, and again, the area that was established as the beach area, those are where the trees mainly came down during that small little tornado. So we're just trying to give a good break of trees off of Levitt, beef up the beach area, and then give more shade for the small dog park. So the biggest change is going to be for Mill Lake. So while we do have a lot of trees out there, there's so many areas of the park where there's just no shade at all. So, wanting to provide, when you get on the other side of the lake, there's just nothing. So, it's a long list of trees that we have up there. I'm sorry, I can't read it from here, but hopefully you guys can see it. How many trees there are, but some of them are to provide color during various seasons, so that's why you see the pink trumpet and the tapaboyas on the bottom, and then the Shumar oak and to provide various colors throughout the year instead of just providing all of the providing just live oaks, so different various oaks. So a bigger one here. Yeah, so it's a total of 26 live oaks for Mill Lake, 7 Shumard oak, 8 shagbong hickory, 8 bald cypress, 4 trumpets, and 5 yellow trumpets. So we're just looking for a motion from the council this evening to approve the tree board recommendations, to, once this project kicks off, to remove the remaining trees, as well as to approve these landscape plans for Mill Lake Park, Wagon Trail Park, and the utilities main plant.
Councilwoman Stafford?
Yes. You didn't say anything about Coleman's Park. They're not part of it?
I'm so sorry. Thank you for bringing that up. So Coleman Park is currently in a redesign phase, so there are trees that are listed that need to come out of that park as part of the arborist report, but all that will be handled during the redesign. So council, you guys have already seen the 30% plans, but you will be seeing the 100%. That's for this fiscal year, and then that will include trees coming out and trees going in, and that is part of their design project that they will be sharing that with you. Albertus Cottage was evaluated, and there weren't any trees that needed to go in Albertus. Dickinson Park, they didn't feel like there was any trees. They felt like there was too many trees, actually. What am I leaving out? Oak Park didn't have any trees installed, just one to remove. And then Valentine Park has a lot to be removed, and this year you guys funded for us to have a redesign beginning process, a 30% design for Valentine Park. So then the trees will be evaluated at that time along with that project. I think I'm leaving out for veterans. And it was 2 trees, I think, that needed to be removed, which were already done due to safety concerns. And there weren't any that were proposed to go in.
City Manager?
I just want to note, when we get down to the end of this topic, the staff recommendation in the body versus the staff recommended motion are a little different. And for me, sorry I didn't catch this, the staff request in the body is what I would like to see you all considered. And I'll read that just for the record, and then we can move on. But it's staff request council review and approve the tree service report, and correct me if I'm wrong at any point, and conceptual landscape designs, including tree removal, installation of replacement trees, and landscape improvements, and authorize staff to initiate a competitive process to complete the work. It's a little more comprehensive than what we built in the recommendation. And so for me, this guy gives us our next steps, and so I wanted to point that out to council. If this moves forward, I would appreciate it if we could use that as the recommendation, if you're agreeable, once you get there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there any council comments? Councilwoman Stafford?
I still got a question. You said for the Coleman Park, the plans haven't been put into play yet? Because when we had a meeting a couple of years ago in Coleman Park, what happened?
So 30% was approved by council, last maybe September.
Mm-hmm.
And so then now for the new fiscal that's starting now, we have the design plans to get us to 100% for construction. So you'll see those plans probably July.
In July.
So, and then that will include all the design elements that people had requested and that we.
If
City
I may,
manager?
I think we run the risk if we do too much work in there now based on the design, we may have to take it out. And so it's better to bundle it with that redesign and come in with an overlay for the park, not only for the ads, but to address the landscaping based on that new design. So that's why it's kind of put the pause on it. It's not that it's not going to happen. It's that we're looking at a comprehensive redesign of that park. And if we plant something now and it interferes with that redesign, it comes out.
Right.
So we don't want to do that. And that's why it's going to be wrapped up with that 100% design for redesign for Coleman.
For Coleman.
Does that help?
Yeah, because I have some citizens that were concerned.
Sure.
So when we do the redesign of it, they will be part of it.
Well, we'll be bringing back the 100% design for approval, and so that's when we'll have the opportunity to address concerns. But go ahead.
Okay, we're going to bring it back, but what I'm asking, before we even do anything, will the public have a chance to have input into the design?
Can I answer this? So when it comes back and we discuss it, they'll get a chance to put their input in that item, correct? That's what I think you're trying to say. I know it's getting late, but.
No, that's not what I was trying to say.
Well, I think
Before
you
we
were
go-
asking if they were going to be part of the design, right?
Be actively, not when you bring it back, not when you bring the design back, but before we come to the design.
I think I'm hearing, are we going to have a community meeting?
Right.
About the 100% design before it comes to council?
Yes, that's what you're hearing.
Okay.
Is that something we can do?
We have done a community before we went to the 30%, I believe.
You did?
So I don't know if it's built into the program, funded in the program at this time with the design. Bilal, do you know?
Oh, there's Bilal. I didn't know he was back there.
For the record, Bilal Iftikhar, Public Services Director. Yes, Commissioner, we had a meeting, the community meeting for Coleman Park. Kimberly Horn did the 30% designs. We took the input from all the residents, including the shade structures, the skate park, the trees. All that work is now being done on plan, so we have 100% plans with the additional trees included as a part of that plan. So we will bring that back to you. We are not going to 90%, we are going straight to 100% after that. So that 100% with the trees built in will be brought back to the council. So yeah, no question about it. We are doing that. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Councilwoman Darms?
This is just a matter of curiosity. I mean, you're bringing these trees in. Do they meet a certain size in their criteria? Are they all the same size? Are they, height and what? I mean, I guess they have to
The
project.
plans specify that they will be 12 to 14 feet tall.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and like even the gallon size on them as well. It's not on yours, but I have that.
And I think the whole goal was for shade, right?
Yes.
So that'll be great. Okay, with no further discussion of the council, we'll look for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the tree services report and conceptual landscape designs, including tree removal, installation of replacement trees, and landscape improvements, and authorize staff to initiate a competitive process to complete the work.
I second.
Got a motion, we got a second. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson?
Yes.
Councilmember Darnes?
Yes.
Mayor Martin?
Yes, and the landscape designs for the various city properties will be approved. Moving on to 9, reports. City manager report.
Take one back down.
Yes, ma'am.
So to recap briefly, Councilmember Stafford and I have been to Tallahassee. It was very engaging, very busy. We had a tremendous support system between the Florida League of Cities and our neighboring cities. We feel it was very effective. I will let Ms. Stafford join in or speak at her under citizens' comments whenever, but this is a handout. They asked us to consider bringing our story to our legislators and our representatives. And the story this year, we had a number of items, including property tax, Senate Bill 180, the glitch bill, sovereign immunity, the caps, or the changes in limits and the cap or no cap, depending on whether you're looking at the House bill or the Senate. So this was handed out to anybody we met with, whether it was individually or as the group. At this point, the message was clear. They hear us. They have our appropriations in hand. They're confident that they're going to do everything they can and believe that we'll make it into the budget, but they're not very optimistic about much staying in the budget this year, given the current climate and temperature in Tallahassee. So that was a little sad, but at this point, we had wonderful one-on-ones. We had a great time with the group, and we feel we were very successful. And we'll keep you posted as the session moves on. Are there any questions for us regarding that trip at this time? Because we're
Did you get a meeting with Senator Wright?
We ended up having a meeting with Senator Wright's aide, and the group had a meeting with Senator Wright, but did not include us at that time. They had asked us based on limited space, because when we got in the room, we knew who was going to talk with the group, because you had 10, 15 minutes, and so we all kind of chimed in. We knew, and so earlier in that day, I had spoke with, I think it was Mr. Partington, and so when we got there, we'd already been in his office, and they couldn't fit all of us in.
Right.
So they said, since you met with his aide, and it was Chris that we met with, would you mind? And so we said, graciously, sure, we get it. But we did meet with, let's see if I can get it in order. Gentry. I'm drawing a blank. Tremont. I have a horrible selfie with him. I'm not good at selfies, so it will never see the light of day. Partington, and I'm drawing a blank the first day. Barnaby, you picked up for me. I came back on Tuesday, and so she championed in and went in on Wednesday and met with Representative Barnaby.
Leaks, I met with his aide.
You went in, stopped by the office. So what they had recommended is if we didn't get an appointment with somebody, go by their office anyway. Talk to them, shake hands, introduce yourself, and give them your handout. A lot of times meeting with committee members and or aides can be just as effective, given how daunting it is, because we were exhausted. I can only imagine how they were. So, but that's a high overview. It was very successful, very good teamwork, very big learning experience. And if I get to go again, I will be much more. I'll be excited. I was excited with some trepidation, and but very, very, very glad that I got to go and worked great with.
I think we did excellent together.
Councilmember Stafford, yes, we made a great team. Regarding grants, on the 20th, we received an email from a state agency saying, we have a grant opportunity. If you're interested, you have to apply by February 20th. We have every intention of applying, and we're working on that. The signature authority is at staff's level, so I won't need to bring it up budget amendment, but I wanted to make you aware. High overview is we're looking to purchase a needed piece of property that is part of our stormwater system and became very apparent through Hurricane Milton that we would benefit from owning this property. So I'll let that be all I say at this time, but it's a good opportunity. It's going to help us acquire a piece of property. It'll pay for the only thing it doesn't pay for is the survey, so which is under $500, and we can get reimbursed up to a certain amount. So we are going to pursue that, and I'll keep you briefed as we move forward. I want to touch on Tuesday. We had a rather large event for our city. I want to applaud and thank the Orange City Police Department, the Volusia County Sheriff, and the FDLE. They worked very well together. We do not like and want, to have these events, but they are part. They are part of doing business and what we're called to do. Yeah. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm very proud to work alongside with our police department, and we appreciate as a group the efforts from the Volusia County Sheriff and the FDLE. So. All right, well, that completes my report for tonight.
I have
questions.
Yeah. I had a resident come to me and ask if we could put a stop sign at Thorpe and Oak. I don't know if it's East Oak or North Oak. I don't know that, but off of Thorpe.
Okay.
I guess their dog got killed because people raced down that road.
Okay.
And they have, I guess next door to her, she has a lady that has twins, littles, and they're always playing out front on their yard. But to be fair, she's just a little worried, so she asked, and I know someone had requested putting a stop sign at Lansdowne and Thorpe, right? Yeah, we just got one there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where that came from.
We had 3 recently. 2 ended up being a county intersection, and there's 1 still under review. But we'll add that to the queue.
Okay, I just told her I would
if I need
ask
more
you.
information or staff needs more information, we'll reach out.
Yeah, I can give you her name and all that.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay. Any questions for the city manager? No? We're good?
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
For everything.
City clerk?
Good evening. So I actually don't really have a lot. I know that all of you got an email invite for a community meeting at Orange City Elementary on February 3rd. Just so you're aware, it is considered a town hall meeting. It's not a publicly noticed meeting. It's not going to be recorded. There are not going to be any minutes taken. Staff's recommendation would be that the council designate one individual to attend that meeting and then to report back to the remainder of the council. We want to make sure that you stay within, the guidelines of the Sunshine Law, and that would be our recommendation. So I'm not sure if you guys want to discuss that and choose somebody. That's up to you all. The other thing I have is elections are in full swing. I have my first candidate that is filed, and it is Don Thompson for District 3. I have had a couple others pull packets, but they haven't turned any paperwork in yet. But we are full swing, ready to go for elections. So that's the update I have.
If it's okay with the council, I'd like to go to the Orange City Elementary just because I've been meeting with the school board already with Christine and Joe. So we're kind of familiar with what they've been saying. I did get a message from a person that's heading up the Save Orange City school. And you all know I've always been a proponent of that. I would love to save it. I know that we have had conversations up here about that, we're kind of up against the wall right now, and there really isn't many other options, but it would be nice to hear what they have to say at that meeting, because the citizen that reached out to me, when I read it, was like, it sounded like the city just kind of let it go, and that's not the case, and I want everybody to know that from what I heard up here on the council, we all do care about the school, and if there's anything we can do, we would do it. But we did talk about, Christine had said about moving it, that young blood, it could not be moved because the building would not make the move. And there were so many other moving parts with it, and I'm not sure that that person actually heard that meeting, which maybe I'll tell her to watch, but maybe we can reiterate that at that meeting if we get a chance to speak, just so that I just want the community to know that it's not, we're not against that. I didn't hear that up here, that we would like to save it, but it didn't seem like it was an option anymore. And kudos to the people that are getting the group together trying to save it. Maybe they know something we don't, and you know, it's a grassroots thing, so we'll see what happens. If the council's okay, I would like to go and be the person, and then if something happens and I can't make it, Vice Mayor, be my backup, if you're okay with that.
Sure.
And if the council's okay with that.
I'd be in agreement with that.
I'm okay with it.
Are you okay? Yep. Okay.
That's all I had.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, City Attorney?
Nothing to report.
Don't.
There's a lot going on, but nothing to report.
Any new business, council? Councilwoman Knight?
In light of what was brought up earlier regarding the presentation for a four-way stop at Levitt and Graves, I've had multiple people talk about that, so I think it would be very beneficial if a presentation could be done so people understand why a four-way stop is being placed there.
Is that something that we need to bring back on new business, or is that something that the staff can be directed to do? Or since we're talking about stop signs, I wasn't sure. I wanted to ask.
Well, I mean, it's appropriate
Yeah.
to
Bring it back?
to bring it back.
Okay.
So I would finish up with the
Okay.
the
Council, are
motion,
you
but-
okay with bringing it back as new business? Okay. Any other new business? No? Okay. Going to move on to approval of minutes. We already did that. Council and mayor comments. We'll start with Councilwoman Knight.
I wrote all this down because I needed to make sure I had my thoughts together, so I'm just going to read from it. Over the past couple of weeks, several Orange City residents have reached out to me privately about their concerns with speaking at our council meetings. I've been approached in Aldi, Chili's, Perkins, Walmart, Kohl's. These aren't people tied to any groups. They're just regular citizens who want to participate without feeling intimidated. They've told me they're afraid that if they speak out against anyone on this council, they could be targeted or even pursued legally. That's a serious concern, and it tells me that the way we're handling certain parts of our meetings is coming across in a manner that this council should not want our citizens to feel. People are starting to feel like our meetings are becoming hostile, and that's the opposite of what public participation is supposed to be. I understand the need to protect yourself, any of us, not just you, because I'm just saying in general, to protect yourself, your family, business, and to correct false information when it comes up. But we have to find a healthier balance so our residents don't feel like their First Amendment rights are being chipped away. When people are scared to speak, that's a sign we need to step back and look at how we're handling things. We should not be creating an atmosphere where intimidation or fear keeps people quiet. That's not who we are as a city, and it's not how local government is supposed to work. I think we need to have an honest conversation about how to address this and make sure our residents feel safe, respected, and able to speak without worrying about retaliation.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay. Councilwoman Stafford?
And I need to piggyback on Dana for just a minute because the one young lady, she called me very upset because all of her information went on Facebook when it was taken by a private phone. What she wants the council to know, she will not be intimidated by anyone. And I can't blame her because I believe, and this is my only belief, with you having your lawyer sitting there and recording everybody, you're trying to intimidate the public, and it's not gonna happen. I got a beautiful smile for you as well, ma'am. It's not gonna happen. Mayor Mark's famous race.
Okay. You can go. Thank you. please escort him out.
I'm walking, shut the fuck up.
Nice.
This is,
It's just, it's not gonna happen, and what we're gonna wind up, the city of Vern City is gonna meet several suits that hopefully the budget can take. And I personally felt like I was censored at the last meeting by you and Vice Mayor. So,
by who?
the chair and the vice chair. I feel like I was. And the intimidation of her sitting there recording me, I don't care. It's not gonna happen. Your famous words.
Is that all?
Yes.
Councilwoman Richardson? No? Councilwoman Darms?
No, I'm good.
Don't believe what you read on social media. It's trash. That's all I want to say.
Okay. First of all, I want to say that I love when the residents come out and speak. I have always loved that. What I don't love is a disruption of the meeting. If we can get through our business, I don't mind when people speak, and I'm not trying to silence anybody. And I did not, I'll make this for the record, I did not bring up the council rules and procedures. It was Vice Mayor. He was the one that said, look, can we bring it back on a new business? To make that clear. Was I in favor of that? I thought, let's take a look at it. It needs a little brushing up. But I also met earlier and with the city manager and the city attorney and discussed that we should pull it because we're not ready to do that. I feel like we really need to look at it so we don't appear as silencing the citizens, okay? That's not what the reason for it, I don't believe, through Vice Mayor is why he brought it up. He brought it up because our goal is to get through these meetings and conduct city business and for our city to progress. And we cannot do that if we keep doing this. We need to be a team. We need to find a way to get together on all this and stop attacking each other, okay? I don't think it's fair to attack anybody in the audience directly like that, no matter who it is, okay? That is not professional, so I don't appreciate that myself. I don't know how the rest of the council feels about that. But also, when I'm here, I'm not trying to intimidate people. I'm trying to get my job done. I love being mayor, and I want to do the right thing for the residents, but I also have to keep decorum. And when I say I give you a warning or you're going to be thrown out or removed, maybe thrown out's a bit much. But my point is that if you disrupt the meeting, we cannot get our city business done. And it also deters people from wanting to come to our meetings and getting more people here. Because someone had commented earlier that there's usually like 5 people here. And now we have more people here. So that was something that I wanted when I ran for office, was to have more engagement with the residents so that they have a voice. And I've always said that. But there's a way to do it. And what I mean by that is not to come up here and personally attack anybody up here. You know, state your case. We're listening. We hear you, okay? But attacks are just not acceptable. And we need to get our business done. And the more we can come together as a council with the city manager, city clerk, everybody, I feel like we can get so much done. But this back and forth is just not progression. So if we can find a way to get there, I would love it, Ms. Stafford. I don't know how to get there. But I do know that there's a lot going on right now with all of us, and we just got to get there. So I just wanted to make that clear that we did not bring this forward to silence anybody. It was really just to look at it and go, okay, we can't spend 4 hours on citizen comments, right? How do we do this and still get to city business? Because it was stated that our meetings cannot go past midnight. So if we do 4 hours with citizens' comments and we get to midnight and we haven't got through half of this agenda, because you see this agenda tonight, right? Then that just held up city business. And that's a shame, because we're working for the residents. So we need to get through this. All these wonderful things that happened tonight with the crosswalk and the parks, That's what we should be doing. That's what makes me excited, to make our city better, not this. So if we have personal things that are going on, let's keep it out of here. Take it up outside. But let's try to get together here and get something done. You girls went to Tallahassee. That's wonderful. Let's hope we get the money, right? But my point is that this stuff that's been going on the last few months, it's fine. If you don't like me, that's fine. You don't have to like me. But you have to work with me, because we have to work as a team, and that's how we get things done. And I mean everybody up here. I'm not just saying
No, I got
Stafford.
one more thing about
I get
Tallahassee.
the floor. Let me finish, okay? And I want to make a point on this. So, we got public records requests. We got all kinds of things. We're all busy. Kaylee's working hard on all that too. That makes her job harder too, right? So we need to find a way to get back together here and move the city. And I just can't stress that enough. As far as the smear campaigns and all that, that's why I have an attorney. And we'll leave it at that. And if you all want to do that too, you can. You all have that right. But it's personal now. Personal stays out of here. When you walk in that door, let's get some city business done. I just think we could do so much together if we could pull together. I really do. All of us, right? We had our differences. Some of us, we worked it out, okay? And I think it's going to make the city manager's job easier too, and the city clerks, if we can do this. So I hope that we can get there. I'm done with my rant, but I just wanted to say thank you for the sidewalk on Lansdowne Avenue. It's beautiful. They're almost finished with it. I haven't even seen a sidewalk like that since I lived here. They really put some time into it, and it's making our residents safer to walk to the Dollar General now. People walk up and down that hill on Lansdowne. It's so dangerous. So we just might have saved some lives doing that, and that's what we do up here. And I can't stress enough. All of us have done so much good up here. Let's get back to that. That's all I'm saying. And let's put the other stuff aside and move on, if we can. I just hope, that's my hope, okay? So that's my rant. Councilwoman Stafford? you
Yes,
wanna
I
say
forgot to also, while in Tallahassee, we did talk to several legislators, and what they said, that the city of Vern City, at this time is not in need of lobbyists. They said that it'd be the waste of taxpayers' money. Most of our problems is in appropriation, and they are more than willing to take that ball and make it happen for our city. They said at this time, we do not need to hire.
Who said that?
About 4 of the representatives that we talked with. I mean, legislators on both sides of the fence. They said right now we don't have that problem.
Okay. Well, we could probably talk about that another time if it comes back up. It's kind of getting late, but thank you all. Councilwoman Knight?
I need to clarify something for our citizens. I had someone approach me and yell at me because as council members, we sit up here and you all want Kelly Marks removed as mayor, and you want to know why the city council members are not doing anything to get her out of her seat. Number one, whether we wanted to or not, we do not have that kind of power or the ability. And number two, our hands are tied. We just can't do anything. If y'all want to see her removed from her seat, Tom Hewitt got up and spoke and explained to you and gave you direction. But please, don't come after the council members thinking that we can do what you're wanting to do. We can't. Our hands are tied, and it's not up to us. So I just want to make that very clear.
Okay. We're just looking for a motion to adjourn.
Like to make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. All in favor? Say